Collins running out of real estate. Heads back upfield, 25 to the 30, the 35 to 40, the 45 to 50. He has only Kowalski to beat. Gets through him, the 10, and touchdown for Collins.
Duarte looks to throw. He fires toward the goal line, and that is caught by Kadeem Wilson for a game-winning Gators touchdown.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the props will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Sends one on goal and he scores! Jonah Copray scores for the second time tonight.
And it is a power play goal. The pressure is there. Wilson putting it in the end zone. It is up for grabs. Did someone come down with it? No, incomplete. The Pharaohs are the 2022 EFA champions.
Live from Memorial Stadium in New Brunswick, New Jersey, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of Tri-State Warriors football. Tonight, the Warriors take on the New York Knockout in their final home game of the 2023 regular season. And with approximately a half an hour to go until kickoff, we officially welcome you into the Tri-State Warriors and PDF Sports Network pregame show presented by Club Metro. I'm Joe Foreman alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Bavona, who is finally making his long-awaited debut here on the PDF Sports Network. Nick, welcome to the broadcast.
Joe, it's a pleasure to be here in New Brunswick for a big matchup between the Knockout and the Warriors. Warriors trying to get back on the win column here today with a big win over the Knockout, who are currently undefeated on the season. Should be a good one.
Well, Nick, for the next 30 minutes, we get a chance to preview this Women's Football Alliance matchup, and there is a lot on the line for both teams. For the Warriors, their season may very well be on the line in this game, as a loss would drop them to 1-4. Of course, the standings are not determined by record here in the WFA, but a 1-4 record would likely mean a lot needs to break in Tri-State's direction for them to make the postseason in WFA Division II. As for the Knockout, they are a WFA Division III team that comes in with a 4-0 record and will look to remain unbeaten. However, with all that is on the line for the Warriors today, getting to 5-0 will be a difficult task for the visitors here in New Brunswick.
Anytime you have a cross-division matchup, Joe, on paper, yes, the Knockout have a 4-0 record, Tri-State is 1-3, but anything is possible when you have a Division II team playing a Division III team. The Warriors will look to key to their defense to keep them in this game and try to get a big-time win to go to 2-3 with a chance to go to 3-3 next week.
Well, there you see on your screen the standings in the WFA D2 National Division. Right now, the Warriors near the bottom of the division, but a lot could change for this Tri-State team with a win here today. You know that they're looking to get back in the win column. They've had a couple of weeks to prepare ahead of this game. But, Nick, not only are the Warriors currently on the outside of the playoff picture right now, but they have a matchup looming next week against a Nighthawks team that beat them here in New Brunswick earlier this season. With a tough game ahead of them next week against a team that put up 33 points against them earlier this season, it's important for the Tri-State defense, which has been very good for much of the season, to give them a big effort here today. As for the offense, they've had 2 weeks to prepare ahead of this game and will be looking to bounce back from a scoreless effort in their last outing against the Wolves.
Well, you're talking about the Warriors offense. Unfortunately, Joe, for them, in 3 of the 4 games this year, they have scored just 1 touchdown in 1 possession in those games. A 14-6 loss, an 18-0 win, that 33-8 loss to the Nighthawks you mentioned, and then their last game against the Wolves and a 21-0 loss. You look at the Knockout and their defense, it's been one of the best defenses in Division III. They're the second best team defense in Division III, only allowing 3.8 points per game. It's really going to be a tough matchup for the Warriors today. They're going to need to figure out, maybe do some trick plays here and there in order to get a win.
And we've seen the big play potential of this Warriors offense in the games we've covered here on PDF this season. We'll get a look more at that in our next segment here in the Club Metro pregame show. But, Nick, if the numbers are any indication, it's going to be a tough day for the Warriors on both sides of the ball. Huge numbers on offense for the knockout. As you touched on, they've scored 55 points twice. They've scored 40 and have only played one close game this year. However, when you look beyond those numbers, there is reason to believe we could be in for a highly competitive game here today.
And it really goes down to the strength of schedule when it comes down to it. You look at this year's strength of schedule for the knockout, 22 out of 25 on the season for the knockout. So it gives the Warriors a chance. Now, yes, they've been in a couple games where they've been close. You look at the knockout games, they've been all blowouts besides the one game against the Mayhem. If the Warriors defense can keep the knockout from getting into the end zone, they'll have a good chance. They're going to need their offense, though, more than ever in this game.
No question about it, Nick. And this Warriors offense at times has been prolific. At times, they've really struggled on the season. They are averaging over 100 yards per game in the air. That's something that's not all too common here in the WFA. So this Warriors offense has shown the ability to pass the football. However, running the ball, they are down under 100 yards per game. That is in stark contrast to where the visiting knockout team is. They run for nearly 300 yards per game. That's definitely something the Warriors will have to key in on in this matchup.
And the Warriors, you talked about it, they're fifth in Division II when it comes in terms of team passing, those 109.8 yards per game. That's what's keeping them in these games. They've had a lot of long plays as well that have gotten them some scores in the end zone. They'll need it again today. It won't come easy against the Knockouts defense overall, which has been another good point for them, as I mentioned. Second best team defense in Division III. They're allowing only 3.8 points per game, Joe. It's not been easy for teams to get into the end zone against them. Going to be a tricky day for the Warriors.
Tough task ahead of this Tri-State Warriors team to get into the end zone. We'll talk more about that following this break as we analyze some game film from some of our broadcasts earlier this season. But, Nick, the stage is set. We have some great football ahead of us as we bring you our final Women's Football Alliance game of the 2023 regular season. The Tri-State Warriors take on the New York Knockout in a cross-division matchup. A brief message from our sponsors, and we'll be right back here on the Club Metro pregame show.
For serious athletes, getting hurt is not an if, it's a when. And when the pain hits your knees, your back, or any one of the many injuries common among athletes, KT Tape is there to help. KT Tape is a drug-free elastic sports tape that works when it's stretched and applied to the skin using simple techniques. So don't ignore those nagging sports injuries any longer. Find drug-free pain relief with KT Tape so you can train longer and finish stronger.
I have a secret. I'm done settling. Because this is my secret. No, really. I put it on once. No more touch-ups because this stick actually works.
Secret has pH-balancing minerals, and it helps eliminate odor instead of just masking it. So no more T-Rex waves or covering up stinky pits when you're not cold. Pull it in close. Just trust me, Secret works.
The football used by 70% of high schools and more NCAA programs than any other is also the #1 selling football in the U.S., the Wilson GST game ball. To ensure superior tack and pebble definition, Wilson sources only the finest leather, which is treated with a proprietary Wilson-developed tanning process. A small team of expert craftsmen then constructs each GST game ball right here in the USA.
One of the biggest obstacles for Dakota with football, I feel like, is all of the injuries. He wasn't comfortable in the equipment that he had. From the start of when he got the pads from Zenith, he was a complete different kid.
He's seeing his development now. He's getting to the age where he's seeing his development and he knows what he's going to do to achieve it.
I love being able to watch him do what he loves. Zenith gave me that.
And we are back here on the PDF Sports Network with continuing pregame coverage of this matchup between the Tri-State Warriors and the New York Knockout. This is the Club Metro pregame show. My name is Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Bavona. And Nick, as we promised ahead of that last commercial break, we're going to take a look back at some plays from matchups earlier in the season. We're going all the way back to week 1 here, this Tri-State Warriors team taking on the New York Wolves, and we saw one of their most prolific playmakers getting the job done to give the Warriors the lead in their week 1 matchup.
And you talk about it, the prolific playmaker. Sienna Britt has been good for them all season for this Warriors team. In this game, she has a touchdown. She has 3 on the season. And Joe, one of the biggest stats about her on the season, leads Division II, all wide receivers in Division II, with 250 receiving yards. She has been a big playmaker for this Warriors offense. They'll need her again today, maybe make a big play here or there in order to get a win over the Knockout. But she does have that big play potential.
No question about it, Nick. Britt has accounted for all of the receiving touchdowns for this Tri-State offense on the season. They have rushed for just 2 touchdowns, scoring on the offensive side of the ball only 5 times this year. But we will get a look at another score by this Tri-State offense from a bit later in the season as well. Another big score by Britt. That came against the Baltimore Nighthawks.
When it comes down to it for Sienna Britt, she's had a big year. You see on this replay, 75-yard touchdown against the Nighthawks, her longest touchdown reception of the year. Big touchdown for her there. 3 touchdowns as the year, as Joe mentioned earlier. Has 3 of the 5 touchdowns for this team. And as I mentioned, does lead Division II all wide receivers with 250 yards on the season. And Joe, she's only done it on 10 catches. She's averaging 25 yards a catch. She's been big for the Warriors this year. If she can get another touchdown here, could be a big opportunity for the Warriors to pull out the upset.
Britt has been huge, a player who plays on both sides of the ball. As we may have lost our internet connectivity for just a moment, you're getting a second look at the week 1 touchdown scored by Sienna Britt. That score gave Tri-State the lead. And Nick, a point I wanted to highlight during our pregame coverage is that the Warriors have been playing from behind for a lot of the 2 games that we've covered here at home. We had a scoreless tie at halftime in week 1. They took the lead late in that game, but they trailed for almost all of their matchup against Baltimore. That's something they certainly want to avoid.
And especially against a knockout team like this that knows how to score a lot of points aplenty. If they can get out to an early start in this game and not allow the Knockout to deliver that first punch, it could give the Warriors a chance in this game. They really need to be the ones to strike first into the end zone in this game.
Well, Nick, a big part of Tri-State being able to stay close in this game, and it's something I know you're going to highlight in our keys to the game later. The Warriors have to protect their quarterback, and right here, you see the consequences of failing to do so. Big strip sack here. They turn the ball over right in front of their own end zone. That's something they're not going to be able to afford against this Knockout team here today.
Especially when you want to try to protect the quarterback, which has been the reason why the Warriors get down the field. They're the top 5 in passing yards for the season for Division II. They really need to protect the quarterback and give them opportunities. Another thing, Joe, as I look at, is the Warriors have given up a lot of penalty yards this season as well. They're second in team penalty yards given up on the year. So they need to fix that as well. Some of that could be stemming from getting sacked by the quarterback from the defensive side. So if they can protect the quarterback in this game, not giving up any holding calls, it could help them overall.
Turnovers and penalties certainly can handicap your defense, but the Tri-State defense has come up big in several spots with their backs up against their own end zone. You'll see one of those right there, a week 1 interception against the Wolves in the end zone. That was one of a couple of interceptions and 3 forced turnovers in that game for Tri-State. We will get a look at some more of those, but this Warriors defense has come up huge this year.
And you talk about the Warrior defense, 11 team total sacks on the year, 5 forced fumbles, 6 forced interceptions, as we saw right there, one of them. It's been a key to success for the Warriors defensively. They just need the offense now to help them and get an overall game plan to win this game. If the defense can keep the Knockout out of the end zone, force some interceptions here and there, maybe get to the quarterback once or twice, it will give Tri-State an opportunity to win the game.
49 tackles for a loss this season for this Tri-State defense. That is thoroughly impressive. You mentioned the sack numbers. You mentioned the INTs. Here's another one of those week 1 interceptions. As you see that ball tipped in the secondary. And what's been really impressive about what these Tri-State defensive backs have been able to do, they've been able to come away with picks like that in traffic in the middle of the field. They've been able to make plays when backed up against their own end zone while avoiding flags. They've also been able to come away with some defensive turnovers, particularly interceptions, matched up in one-on-one coverage on the outside. So it really hasn't mattered what kind of look this Warriors defense takes the field in. They've done a great job generating turnovers. We have one more example of that before we head to break, as you'll see right here.
It's been a great year overall for the Warriors defensively, and when it comes down to forcing turnovers, and it gives them a chance to win these games, they just need the offense, Joe, as we mentioned, to keep them in the game overall. But if the defense makes plays like that, it gives them a chance. They just need it against a very good knockout offense overall on the season.
Right there, you got to look at one of 5 forced fumbles by this Tri-State defense this year. They've recovered 3 of those. Interceptions, forced fumbles could prove to be key in today's game against the Knockouts. So with that, we will head to break. Another message from our sponsors during this Club Metro pregame show. We draw closer to kickoff. The Tri-State Warriors take on the New York Knockout.
East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
Cahill drops back and throws. She's got a wide open receiver. Cooper goes to the right, gets a hole, finds enough for a first down, breaks a couple tackles. She's only got one person to beat. She's going to be in for a Minnesota Vixen touchdown.
And she's in for another touchdown.
She's down to the 10, the 5, and she's in. Is she in? For a touchdown!
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium here in New Brunswick and the Tri-State Warriors Club Metro pregame show. Joe Foreman here alongside Nick Bavona. And Nick, as we speak, the teams are getting set for kickoff. Let's look now at our keys to the game. First, for the Warriors defense, you know they have to slow down what has been a prolific knockout offense. How can they do that here today?
Well, we talked about looking at the turnover numbers. Now, unfortunately, they're not going to get as many interceptions as they've had on the season. If they can stack the box against a good a good rushing team in the knockout, they're averaging 288 yards per game on the ground. If they can stack the box, Joe, and keep that rushing attack from going anywhere, it could force some interceptions at the end of the day and force the knockout to throw the football.
Well, Nick, look at the yards per carry for these knockout running backs. Hannah Jennings, 12.2. Eden Messimer, 9.1. Catherine Salisbury, 10.1, and it keeps going down the line. Running backs averaging well over 5 yards per carry. It is certainly going to be a big ask for this Warriors defense to slow down the run. We've seen them limit the pass. They're going to need to have that same level of success against the run here today. And as we know, the Warriors defense has been solid this season, but the persisting issue for this team has been sustaining drives and putting the ball in the end zone. The defense has spent a lot of time on the field in the games we've covered here on PDF, and that has inflated some of the scoring numbers against that unit. What can the Tri-State offense do to get the ball in the end zone and give their defense some rest throughout this game?
I think it's going to be down to maybe rattling that knockout defense, and it comes down to the point of you look at the knockouts team overall when it comes to the penalty yards. I mentioned the Warriors' penalty yards on the season. You look at what the knockout have done in terms of penalty yards. They lead in that category, 210 penalty yards on the season. That's about 52.5 penalty yards per game. So if the Warriors offense can force maybe some misplays in the defensive side for the knockout, get those big plays that we've seen on the season for Sienna Britt, we could see maybe some big-time offense for the Warriors here today.
And we saw defensive penalties play a big role in the Week 1 Tri-State game against the New York Wolves. Both teams really struggled offensively for much of that game. Neither team scored in the first half, but when each team was able to get the ball moving down the field and take possession deep in opponents' territory, it was largely due to penalties, as you mentioned, and something else I highlighted earlier during the pregame, turnovers. But Nick, we have just moments to go before kickoff, so let's take a look at our matchup by the numbers that you see on your screen. As we mentioned earlier, looking solely at the season stats, it looks like the Knockout have the advantage coming into this game. However, we are covering a cross-division matchup for the first time this year. The Warriors are a Division II team. The Knockout are a Division III team. Anything can happen here tonight.
Absolutely, Joe. Anything can happen. Kind of reminds me of 2007 college football with Michigan and Appalachian State. One of the biggest upsets of college football. Anything is possible when it comes down to it. When you play on that field, anything can go down. One misplay here and there could give the other team a great advantage to win the game. At the end of the day, the Warriors are looking to catch them off guard, hand them their first loss of the season, and try to get into that playoff push.
Now, do you want to give our viewers at home a Kevin Garnett moment with an exclamation of anything is possible?
Anything is definitely possible, Joe.
Good effort, Nick. Thank you for that. And with that, we will break for the national anthem, which is coming up shortly, and that will conclude our Tri-State Warriors pregame show presented by Club Metro. Nick and I will come back following the anthem. We cut away now to one final word from our sponsors, and after our final break, it is time for kickoff. The Tri-State Warriors take on the New York Knockout, only on the PDF Sports Network.
want to have fun, and we also want to dominate the world.
I feel like as athletes, we're just always beating ourselves up, so we want to stay at the top of our game.
And KT tape is something that every time I pick it up, I know I'm going to be, best supported and enhanced by, so that's awesome.
A lot of times I'm not even injured. It's just coming from, a hard workout and I'm sore the next day. Just a little tape to relieve the pain and get the most out of my training.
I don't have time to mess around. If something's not working, it's like out of my kit. Just every product they use is simple and it's effective and it helps me feel better. It's a beautiful product that supports you. We all need a little more support in life.
And we are back here on the PDF Sports Network. A bit of an abrupt return from our commercial break ahead of the national anthem, but we do want to let you know that last TV timeout was brought to you by Christo's Pizza and Grill, located at 1052 Livingston Avenue in North Brunswick. Call your own time and order now at 732-543-0891 or visit Christo's Pizza and Grill. That's Christo's with a C, Christos. Delicious food and free delivery available now. This timeout was also brought to you by Tons of Buns Food Truck. Find out where Tons of Buns is by visiting them on Instagram and Facebook. Tons of Buns 21 on Instagram and tons_of_buns 2021 on Facebook. Mouth-watering creations going on now. Like, follow, visit, and book us. Tons of Buns Food Truck. And Nick, I'm now hungry as we get set for kickoff.
Well, Joe, anytime we have a game, we always seem to get hungry at some point during these broadcasts. But it should be a good game. I'm very hungry for this action here we're going to have here in New Brunswick.
And both of these teams are hungry for victory. This knockout team, undefeated last season, 6-0, unbeaten so far this season at 4-0. You have to think that they come into this matchup the favorite, and you did some digging and some background searching before this game, and the Massey Ratings website does have a mathematical formula which projects final scores and projects point spreads. What did you find?
It seems as if the projection for this game is about a 7.5 spread for the game, looking around the score of a final of 20-12. So we could be in for a good defensive matchup, which we kind of already knew going into this game. But it will really come down to see which offense is going to be the key into winning this game. Overall, we know that the Knockout have been in a close one before. That 12-8 to win over the Mayhem. It could be a similar action here today with the Warriors.
Well, Nick, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would find that information to be very interesting. I know our viewers at home probably appreciate that information as well. You said it. We mentioned it during the pregame. The Knockout have played in just one close game this season, so you have to think they're not all too accustomed to being tested. If the Warriors can push them and keep this game close late into the second half, it should be a very interesting situation to watch unfold, as Tri-State is a very hungry team, going back to our food theme for just a moment. They need a win, Nick. It is not going to be easy to make the playoffs following a 1-4 start, though it certainly will be possible. They are going to need some help in that regard if they are going to qualify for the playoffs, and it looks like Tri-State is getting set to kick off to open up this Week 7 matchup.
I think at the end of the day, Joe, it's all about controlling your own destiny when it comes down to the playoffs. Tri-State needs a win overall in these final two games. A 1-4 start would be tough to get into the postseason, would get some help if they can get it, but you want to control that destiny at the end of the day. Tri-State needs to do that early on in this game. We mentioned it. If they can start out early and get a good first, maybe get the first score of this game against the Knockout, they'll have a chance.
WFA D2 comprised of 16 teams across 2 divisions. The Warriors are currently 10th. Of 11 teams in the National Division, they need to move up in the standings in order to secure a playoff spot. Top 8 teams will make the postseason in D2. The Knockout are firmly in the playoff picture in the WFA D3 ranks. As this kickoff is squibbed and recovered at about the 30-yard line by New York, and they will just fall down on top of it. No return on the opening kick. Now, Nick, we don't have binoculars, so at times it might be tough to get the numbers. Those are in my office. That's not a good place for them.
No. We'll figure it out, though, as this game goes along. But for this Knockout team, they'll start at the 30-yard line. We mentioned it earlier, Joe. 3rd in Division III in team rushing. Hannah Jennings, you mentioned it, has been great for them this season. 588 yards on the season and 13 touchdowns. She'll be someone to look at during this game.
At quarterback for the Knockout, Eden Messimer. That looks to be a pistol formation here. Perhaps the back a bit offset to Messimer's right in the backfield as we have a handoff on the game's first play. And this looks to be a good one for Hannah Jennings, who is gang tackled by a group of Warriors. That's a gain of only about 2. Down at the 32-yard line was Jennings.
And Jennings got to the outside on that one. Had a chance there, but a good job by the Warriors to surround her at the end. She gets about a gain of 4 on that play now, about 2nd and 6.
Jennings stands 5'8", 188-pound running back out of the New York backfield. That's going to make her a tough tackle, a real bruising runner for this New York offense. Jennings comes in averaging over 12 yards per carry on the season. As this pass goes out left, that was a screen pass. The reception is made, and the ball is taken out across the 40-yard line. And down at the 44 was the receiver on the play. That looked to be Catherine Salisbury, listed on the roster as a running back, wearing number 9.
I think you're going to see a lot of that, too, in this game. for the knockout. Maybe trying to fool this Warriors defense with a couple of screen plays like that. It works on that one as they get a first down around the 44-yard line.
Ball at their 44.
Ball at the New York 44-yard line. First down and 10. That last play giving the knockout their first down of the game. As it looked to be a bit of a miscommunication on that play, but Jennings breaks out of the backfield, and she's taken down across midfield.
Kind of almost a broken play right there, Joe. But sometimes those broken plays work to the advantage of the team. Jennings gets it now into Tri-State territory at the 49-yard line.
Well, Nick, I thought that was certainly a false start on Jennings in the backfield. Looked like she got an early start, and that threw off the timing of that play. There you get an up-close look at that carry by Jennings, and you see the raw power for the knockout running back out of the backfield. And this Tri-State defense is going to have their hands full today.
They're going to need to stack the box, I think, sooner rather than later. Try and get an early blitz. The ball was on the ground.
Botched handoff, but it looks like Jennings was able to get it back on the bounce. And we spoke about it. Turnovers and penalties could play a big role in this game. The knockout nearly committed the game's first turnover right there.
And that's a big break for the knockout right there to recover the fumble. They lose a yard in the play. Ball now at midfield here on third down. Be interesting to see here, Joe. Will they go back to Jennings with a run, or will they try another screen pass here to try to get the first down?
All the attention Jennings commands in that backfield should open up screen passes. The question is, how many different passing looks do you have outside of the screenplay? Strong pistol set here for the knockout. Handoff goes to Jennings, and she is met in the hole. Huge tackle on the play by Melissa Blaze.
Good job by Blaze to get back there. Jennings had no room for running on that one. That's exactly what the Warriors need to do in this game. Need to do a lot of blitzes, get some big-time plays in the backfield for the loss, and now it's fourth down at the knockout 49-yard line.
Power against power as you get another look at that collision. Jennings met Blaze in the hole, and Blaze won that battle. As it looks like New York is going to punt, so an early victory for this Tri-State defense.
That's how you have to do it. Get a force here. Now you have a chance here on the punt, and maybe try to get into the end zone for the first time today.
We've seen a lot happen on punts in the two games we've covered. Here at Memorial Stadium, we've seen teams neglect to punt because they haven't been comfortable punting the ball away, and it looks like we're going to have a delay of game here against New York, so they'll back up 5 yards. And
they were trying to catch the Warriors off guard, try to get 5 yards, and maybe on fourth and short, give it back to Jennings for a first down. Now with that penalty, now they'll certainly punt on this situation and give potentially the Warriors a good field possession.
Well, that was a wise move there by New York to try and catch Tri-State going off sides, as that's punted laterally. And I'm not sure I've ever seen a punt like that before. Now, that almost looked intentional.
I have no words, Joe. I have no idea what was that. Now it gives the Warriors the ball at the 31-yard line.
We'll get one more look at it. That almost looked intentional, the way the punter squared her body up to the sideline. But nonetheless, that cannot be what the knockout we're looking for. And now Tri-State will take over in plus territory. It looks like they're going to spot this at about the 31-yard line of New York.
And if you're the Warriors, you've got to take advantage of this short positioning on the field. 31 yards to the end zone. Maybe look for Sienna Britt, who we mentioned in the pregame, to try to get a big play here for this Warriors offense to get them in the end zone first.
I've said it for just about all of the two games we've covered. Tri-State has to protect Sine Williams and give her a chance to throw the football because she's proven very capable, hasn't had much time on most passing plays. Pistol formation here, bunch to the left on first down. They'll pitch it back, and that pitch way off target. The ball is loose and recovered by the knockout.
Costly turnover there for the Warriors. It just was not a good toss at the end of the day. And the knockout get a big-time break. They'll now have the ball again at the 30-yard line. They caught a major break, as I already mentioned, after that disastrous punt.
Well, Netta Wise, a two-way player with good hands. That pitch was a bit off the mark, but Wise had plenty of time to recover and scoop up that ball. She just couldn't get a handle on it. And just like that, the knockout take possession right back.
And that's a play right there that could really define a game early on. Now, if you're the knockout, now you have a lot of momentum going your way. You have the ball once again and looking to make, or I should say, take advantage of a costly turnover there early on for the Warriors.
That's a backbreaker for Tri-State in that offense as Jennings was met in the backfield by 3 black jerseys. She carries them forward. She is still on her feet and is finally taken down at about the 35-yard line.
Well, you see it from the Warriors right now. They're trying to strip the ball from her as she continues to stay up on the feet. So that's going to be a key also for Tri-State. If Jennings continues to keep moving in the field, if you're Tri-State, try to force the ball out of her hands, get that turnover. Unfortunately, Jennings is able to get 5 yards there to make it second and about 5.
And there's a great look at the conclusion of that last play as Jennings carried no fewer than 3 Tri-State defenders toward the sideline and turned what looked like it was going to be a loss or no gain into a gain of about 4.
They go jet sweep on this play, and it's going to be a big play here for them, Joe.
On that play, it was Salisbury on the jet sweep. She's taken down at about the 46. And that is more than enough for a New York first down.
And that's going to be a key also for the knockout. You look about it, they're going to be thinking it's going to Jennings. They trick them on that play with the jet sweep. Now they're at the 46-yard line, trying to get it into the end zone for the first time in this game to get the first points of this game.
Knockout have done a good job keeping the Warriors honest on defense. They've handed it off to Jennings quite a bit early in this game, but they've worked in some screen passes right there, a jet sweep. Not allowing Tri-State to focus solely on the running game, a running game that has been so good for New York so far this season.
And we talked about the Knockouts offense this year. They're averaging about 40 points per game.
And that was Mesmer for a gain of about 9 on that carry. That time, it was a quarterback keeper. They faked the jet sweep, and a lot of different looks from New York offensively has this Tri-State defense on its toes.
And I think that's a big part of why the Knockout have gotten to this record of 4-0. A lot of people think it's going to go to Jennings. They look for that to happen. And unfortunately for teams, they do the trickery plays like the jet sweeps and the quarterback keepers. Now about second and short here in Tri-State territory.
Jennings alone on the season has 13 touchdowns. On the ground, New York has scored 20 times. They only have 3 touchdowns through the air, but their top 2 receivers are averaging over 24 yards per reception. Once again, Jennings takes the handoff here, and she is met immediately by a host of Warrior defenders, and that looks like it's going to go for no gain.
There was no chance on that play, Joe. A low snap to the quarterback and just a very delayed handoff. Jennings had no chance in the backfield, and now if you're Tri-State, a stop here could force the Warriors to maybe try to keep their defense on the field because the Knockout could potentially go for it on 4th down.
How about these issues we've seen with handoffs and snaps and the one pitch by the Warriors? A lot of miscommunication and mishaps so far before plays can even get started.
And if you're these teams, you have to stay on your toes and look for any of those mistakes to happen and try to maybe recover some fumbles. 3rd and short here for the Knockout. And another low snap, Joe.
And Mesmer will try and get rid of it, and she does as she throws it away. But once again, you said it, Nick, another botched snap. And it's been a sloppy start to this game for both teams. Of course, the Warriors have run just one play, but we've seen several miscues already by the Knockout amidst some very good play calling.
And on that low snap, it looked like they were going for another jet sweep or maybe another quarterback keeper. But because of the low snap, it allowed the Tri-State Warriors to get into the backfield and force the pass there. Now on 4th down, be curious to see if Tri-State runs here or maybe tries to go with some trickery on a pass.
Once again, a pistol set. They show screen to the right. That's where the ball is going. Pass is caught by Salisbury. She lost the football, but she was down short anyway, as that will be well short of the sticks. Officially, it is a turnover on downs.
That's a great tackle for the Warriors right there to force that turnover on downs. And after the fumble on the previous possession, Tri-State once again gets another good defensive stop right here. They've taken advantage also of the low snaps from the Knockouts offense. Now let's see if the offense for Tri-State can bounce back after that last possession.
And you could see that play developing the moment the ball was snapped, Nick. You saw that screen near the near sideline, bottom of our viewer's screen. Salisbury once again running that bubble screen out of the slot position, and this time Tri-State was ready. They also knocked the football loose on the way down, but it was recovered, it appeared, by New York. Nonetheless, it was short of the sticks. First down Tri-State, and they'll get another chance in a scoreless game, this time starting from their own 46-yard line.
Curious to see what they do on this first down play after the fumble on their first down play the previous possession.
Shotgun set, trips to Williams' right. Flag comes out on the play. Wise is open down the field. She catches it all alone. Makes a move to the inside. Another move to the inside, but she's stripped of the football and dives back on top of it at about the 23-yard line. We did have a flag come out as soon as that ball was snapped.
Curious to see what the flag is on the play. I would believe, Joe, it's going to be ruled up on the false start for the offense, so that's a big miss for the Warriors. We mentioned it in the pregame. The Warriors have had a lot of penalty yards on the season, and that's another big one there, so it would have given them a chance inside the 30-yard line to get the first score of the game.
Well, Netta Wise has proven to be a playmaker on both sides of the ball for Tri-State. She was wide open on that play, and not sure if you took a look at some of the film from our last broadcast, Nick, but that's a play that Tri-State ran in their last game against Baltimore in a fourth down situation. That's a play they like. And if you take one more look at the replay while the Warriors are in a huddle here, you'll see that it looks like there's only one route on that play. And we'll get a look at that again shortly as the Warriors offense prepares to snap the football. But nonetheless, Wise appeared to be the only route on that play. The only other option for Williams is to keep that football and run.
Looked like they were expecting a run there. It was a broken play for the knockout defense.
Williams rolls to her right, floats one up into traffic, and it falls incomplete.
That could have been very disastrous right there for the Warriors on that pass. Now it makes it second and long from the 41-yard line.
If that ball lands about a yard or two shorter, that could be 6 points the other way. Very dangerous play there for the Tri-State offense. They now face a 2nd and 15. But I said it during the Week 1 game and then brought it to the attention of Dave in Game 2. We saw a lot more passing than we expected in the Week 1 matchup between Tri-State and the New York Wolves. And then when they faced Baltimore, they tried to feature the run a bit more early. But as the game went on and they fell behind, they once again were forced to feature the passing game.
They tried to do that in the first possession with that pitch. Since then, 2 straight passing plays.
It all comes down to whether or not they can protect their quarterback. And Williams is not protected on this play as she is taken down for a loss of about 4 on the sack. And that will set up a 3rd and very long.
And we mentioned it a lot during the pregame. It's all going to come down to if this Warriors offensive line can protect their quarterback and give her a chance to make some big plays down the field. Did not happen on that play. Now you have a very long 3rd down here for Tri-State. Maybe look for another trick play here and try to force the knockout defense to make a big-time mistake.
Well, I think a moving pocket is a good place to start, trying to buy Williams some more time to throw the football. And we saw that work to perfection on the first play of this drive. Unfortunately, that big gain was negated by a false start, and we very nearly had our second fumble of the game committed by Tri-State as well. So Warriors have a lot to clean up early in this game, but there's still no score. This is a 3rd down at about 19. We'll see if the Warriors look to just hand it off or perhaps air it out and draw a flag in the secondary. Press coverage near the bottom of the screen, near sideline, as they do hand it off on 3rd and long, and that goes for a gain of about a yard. Now, Nick, I thought we had a false start once again.
Did look like that from the beginning of that play. No call on the field, about a 1-yard pickup on the carry. Now brings 4th and long here for Tri-State. They'll try to do now what the knockout did on that punt, Joe, and get the ball down the field so that the knockout don't have good field position.
Well, if you go back to the Week 1 matchup against the Wolves once again, that matchup was a battle of field position. All game long, the two teams jockeying for field position. The Warriors were handed a golden opportunity to open this game, could not capitalize. And we highlighted it during the pregame. A Tri-State turnover in Week 1 set up the Wolves right in front of the Warriors' end zone, but the Warriors came up with the pick. Here goes the punt, and that's a good one. End over end, out across the 40. And it takes a Tri-State bounce as that ball skips down to the 30. Nicely done on that punt by the Warriors, and that will set up the knockout at their own 30-yard line.
For the third straight drive, Joe, they'll be starting at that 30-yard line. Good punt nonetheless for the Warriors there. Now the knockout once again will have to go 70 yards down the field to get the first points of this game.
Very tough to read the numbers on the front of these Tri-State uniforms, but credit where it is due. That was Sienna Britt on that punt. What doesn't she do?
She does it all, apparently.
Well, she's right back out on the field for defense. Also a big playmaker at wide receiver and getting her reps as a punter as well. Shotgun set for the knockout. Salisbury was in motion, and Mesimer will keep it as she carries it out of bounds into her own team's bench, and that's a gain of about 2 on first down.
Looked like a little bit of a triple option right there for the knockout offense as they got a nice quarterback keeper to get about 2 or 3 yards on the play to make it second down.
And when you have a running back that runs with as much ferocity as Jennings, she also has to factor in as a blocker in that situation as well.
Right.
Not going to be easy to beat her in a blocking situation one-on-one. Pistol set here on second down. Handoff goes to Jennings, and it looked like she nearly lost the football as she was taken down in the backfield. Another big tackle by Melissa Blaze.
And I'm noticing it a lot from Blaze. She's getting to the backfield very, very quickly. So for the knockout offensive line so far, they've got to do a good job of protecting their quarterback and their running back Jennings here. Now 3rd and long. Let's see if the knockout passed the ball here. It'll be interesting to see if they try another screen pass as they've done earlier in this game.
Well, this situation, 3rd down, looks like about
8 yards,
7 or 8 yards. And they'll move the pocket as it's pitched back to Jennings. She cuts to the inside, but will not come close to first down yardage. She's about 4 or 5 yards short as she was taken down just across the 35.
That could have been another disastrous play for the knockout right there. Just a late pitch for Jennings to get the ball. Was able to at least get 2 yards on the carry. Now 4th and short. Timeout on the field.
Well, I took a look at our replay monitor to see if there was any option for Mesimer to throw that football on that last play. There was not. Both receivers were set up to block. And the only option there was to pitch it back to Jennings. And Jennings got running with a head of steam, but Tri-State rallied to make the tackle. And with a timeout called on the field, we will take a quick 1-minute commercial break. First quarter in this Women's Football Alliance matchup between Tri-State and New York.
I was all for it from the beginning, secretly.
I told her that, if you join, you're in it. She's fast for her age, and I said, look, if they can't catch you, then they can't tackle you.
We, believe it or not, found an extra small pair of Zenith pads, and I was like, hey, we're going to get these.
Zenith just fits better. They love it.
Touchdown, come on!
And we are back from Memorial Stadium for the start of quarter number 2, as that ball was punted away by New York.
About a 15-yard punt on the play, but again for Tri-State, they're going to have another good positioning on the field. They're going to be starting from the knockout 45-yard line. So Tri-State needs to take advantage, Joe, early in this second quarter, and has to try to get something down the field in order to get the first points of the game.
And something to watch throughout this game is how many drives each of these teams get to start in plus territory. And early in this second quarter, in fact, just seconds into the quarter, Tri-State will take over from the New York 45.
And you notice from the other side, the knockout have been starting in their own territory. So that has been a good start for Tri-State overall, but they need the offense now on this drive to get them something. Let's see what they do here on first down.
The Warriors winning the field position battle, can't afford to get pushed backwards. Shotgun set, and
Flag.
It looks like we have a false start on first down.
Flag on the play.
Well, I just said it, Nick. They can't afford to give those yards back, and ahead of the first down snap, they get whistled for another false start. And I think what makes that a bit more concerning is that's 2 straight drives now where the first play of the drive has resulted in a false start.
And you cannot afford that if you're trying to make that playoff push towards the end of the season. Tri-State needs to fix these penalty issues they've had all year. Now let's see what they do here on 1st and 15.
Shotgun set once again. Handoff goes up the middle. That's Trouble Mendez, and she looks to battle back to the original line of scrimmage, but it appears she's just short. Gain of about 4.5 on that first down carry.
Gets most of those yards back from that previous penalty. Now 2nd and about 10 on the play. Tri-State looking to get something yards here, get that first down, get down the field, and get the first points. It's not easy so far overall, the way their offense has been against this knockout defense.
So during that first quarter, we tried to keep an approximate game clock for you up here in the booth. There is no game clock. Time is being kept down on the field. Our approximation was not close, so we've decided to abandon the game clock. We'll do our best to keep you posted as this game moves closer to halftime. 2nd down handoff, and not much doing there as that play is blown up in the backfield, and they are going to say the ball carrier on that play willingly ran herself back all the way to midfield. That was Lisa Fisher, the Warriors' fullback, and that's a big loss on that 2nd down carry.
And we had 2 different decisions on where the ball would be spotted on the play. It does stay in knockout territory at the 49-yard line, but again, it's 3rd and long once again for Tri-State. I'd be curious to see, Joe, if they try to run the football like they did the previous 3rd and long, maybe try to get something in the air. It's been a rough start for the offense overall in this first half.
In my opinion, she was forced back. At the very least, I think she should be a yard or 2 closer to the line of scrimmage with that spot. But as it stands, it's going to be 3rd down and 14. Trips to the right of Sine Williams as we had a whistle down on the field, a flag in the secondary, and it is a delay of game against the offense. And Nick, the Warriors really being hammered by penalties, and you highlighted that during the pregame. It looks like you were right on the money. They need to clean up these penalty issues.
You could see early on in this game for Tri-State, they seem kind of rattled early on by the amount of penalties and mistakes that they've made already on the field. 3rd and long, I'd expect a run here.
And you'd be wrong. They're going over the middle. That catch is made. Blocking ahead of the play. Cutting to the inside was Cav Johnson. And she is down only 2 yards short of a first down. Big reception by the Tri-State tight end.
I had to reverse mush it, Joe, for Tri-State. But now with 4th and short, it gives Tri-State an opportunity to try to get the first down here. We'll see what they do. I would not be surprised if they try maybe a jet sweep type of play here to try to get those 2 yards, or maybe even, in fact, try to draw the knockout defense offside to get the first down.
So you're looking for some trickery here.
Potentially. When your season's on the line, sometimes you have to go to the strict plays.
The entire playbook is open here on 4th down and short, no question about it. Heavy set here. Fullback lined up in front of Williams and the halfback in the backfield. Faking the handoff was Williams. She looks to run. She cuts upfield. She has the first down and more, but there is a flag back at the 40-yard line.
Let's see what. And it's a holding on the offense, Joe. A big penalty right there. They could not have afforded that, as now it negates the first down. Now makes it 4th and long.
Let's see if we can spot the hold. I think we spotted it, but without slowing the play down, it's really hard to illustrate exactly where it was. If Andrew and I are on the same page, it looked like the hold was on the right edge. Perhaps the right tackle on the offensive line there, and it was so subtle and so quick, but it certainly had an impact on the result of that play. The question now is, will Tri-State go for it? And it appears they will.
That's a very interesting call here, with the ball being at the knockout 48-yard line, because if they don't get it here, Joe, it would give New York a good field positioning for the first time in this game.
I'm a bit surprised they're going for it after that first punt by Sienna Britt. That was a good kick. And New York would likely have a tough time going nearly the full length of the field. We'll see what Tri-State dials up here on fourth down. About 12 yards to go for a first. Williams wants to throw. She has good protection, but that protection runs out. And Williams is sacked all the way back at the 47.
And now it gives New York great field positioning on this game for the first time in the game. They start at the 47-yard line, looking to get the first points. A big holding on that 4th and 2, really hurting the Warriors right there.
Well, they get another look at that last play, and initially that was blocked well by Tri-State. I thought Williams might get some time to roll out, and perhaps you have a busted coverage in the secondary, a receiver running alone down the field.
I think what Williams was looking for, there was one-on-one coverage down the left side of the field. She wanted to go to that one-on-one coverage. Unfortunately, it was well covered by the knockout defense, and at the end of the day, it leads to that sack. Now it gives New York a great opportunity here to put the first points on the board.
Pistol set, first down for the knockout. 4 receivers wide. Mesmer looking right and throws to an open receiver. That's Salisbury with a lot of room to run. She breaks up the field. She's headed up the sideline, and nobody will catch her. Touchdown, knockout.
What a good start to this drive for the knockout. A touchdown on the first play. They take advantage of that short field, and we talked about it, Joe. We thought that the knockout would try to run the football a lot in this game. They're going to throw a little bit here and there to try to force this Warriors defense off guard. They caught him off guard right there with that 47-yard touchdown to open the scoring for this one.
Breakaway speed on full display for Catherine Salisbury. A big touchdown reception. You said it, Nick. 47 yards, and I spoke about it during the pregame. These New York receivers have averaged over 24 yards per reception for Salisbury. That's her second touchdown of the season. The extra point is up, and it looked like it may have been partially blocked, but that is good as that one just squeaked over the uprights, and a huge play for this knockout offense gives them an early 6-0 lead. The extra point, which as we've seen in past games could be big, makes it 7-0.
And that's overall a great start for the knockout. But a lot of sloppy offense early in this game from both sides. But with that 4th and down not working out for the Warriors, the knockout took advantage, and they delivered the first punch in this game, now leading at 7-0.
Well, if there's anything to be relieved about in that situation, if you're Tri-State, whether or not you converted on that 4th down didn't impact that last play, right, as the knockout went all the way down the field on just one snap. But Salisbury demonstrating breakaway speed there and scoring for the first points of this game. But coming into today's game, the knockout had completed just 15 passes on the season. They've already completed quite a few in this game.
You look about it too, Joe. The Warriors have had their plays in the field. They've all been negated, though, due to the penalty yards, and that's what's killed them so far.
Was that an onside kick attempt or just a short kickoff? Tough to tell. But the Warriors do get on top of it, and the hands of the special teams unit for Tri-State being put to the test right there, and it almost paid off for the knockout.
Always got to be on your toes when you're on the special teams unit for either side. Now the knockout, almost getting an onside recovery there. Warriors will start this drive at the 47-yard line, trying to tie this game or at least put it within 1 point. Let's see if their offense can do something here on this drive.
The Warriors now behind for the first time today. And we really haven't seen much from them offensively, due primarily to the fact that a lot of their biggest plays have been negated by penalties. You said it, Nick. Penalties have been a backbreaker for the Warriors early in this game as we have a timeout called by the knockout on defense. So with that, we will step aside for a short 1-minute commercial break. We'll be right back with more Tri-State Warriors football right here on the PDF Sports Network.
East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
Cahill drops back and throws. She's got a wide open receiver. Cooper goes to the right, gets a hole, finds enough for a first down, breaks a couple tackles. She's only got one person to beat. She's going to be in for a Minnesota Vixen touchdown.
And she's in for another touchdown.
She's down to the 10, the 5, and she's in. Is she in? For a touchdown!
And we're back from Memorial Stadium as the Warriors attempt a trick play, and it goes nowhere as the ball carrier is planted in the backfield. Huge tackle for a loss by Shannon Goyer.
About a 7-yard loss on that play, and you look at that play, Joe. They went for an original jet sweep and then turned into an end run on the second handoff. Unfortunately, on that second handoff, it was a bit bobbled on that one, and it led to the knockout getting that big loss on the play for their defense. Now 2nd and long. Now a 2nd and 17 coming up for the Warriors. They need something here after that big loss on first down.
Once again, a spread shotgun set for Tri-State. We've seen quite a bit of this in the games we've covered.
I was going to say, Joe, it looked like a big-time head start for one of the sides.
Well, I'll tell you this, Nick. That was going to be a big-time play if it was allowed to continue, but once again, it's a false start against Tri-State. This is really beginning to spiral out of control for the Warriors offense. They've done a lot well in this game, but all of it has been negated by the penalties.
I believe that's the 3rd time now in this first half that they've been called for offsides. They've got to fix that, or else it's going to be a long second half for this team. They need to do something, down only 7-0.
Second and long for the Warriors.
Second and very long. Looks to be somewhere around 21 or 22 yards.
Try to do the math in my head.
Andrew says 22.
Okay.
I believe him. Spread shotgun set. Williams takes the snap, looks to her right, and is out of time as she is sacked by a group of knockout defenders. Just no time for Williams to survey the field. If her first read isn't there, time typically runs out.
And I think another thing for the offensive line, those false starts, it seems as if, Joe, they're starting to get to the head of this Tri-State offensive line. Again, Williams looking for something down the field, had no chance. It leads to a sack, and now it's 3rd and very long here for Tri-State.
That's a good point you make, Nick. If you're just a step slow on that offensive line when the ball is snapped, it's a big advantage for that defensive line, and that will allow the knockout to create more pressure and a collapsing pocket around Williams, who has had to contend with constant pressure throughout this first half. She really hasn't had time to survey the field on more than 1 or 2 plays.
And one of those plays that she did have time was negated by a penalty, unfortunately. So with 3rd and very long, it's going to take a miracle and a half, Joe, I think, for Tri-State to convert this one.
Well, you had your take before, and it was wrong.
It was wrong.
We have Joe Stradamus. We have Durst Stradamus, our colleague and fellow broadcaster, Nick Durst. You were looking to join elite company, Nick, but you failed.
It's only happened once for me. Try to get back on the board.
Timeout called by Tri-State here on 3rd down and very long. We'll see what Andrew has as the official yardage tally. He has about 26, and there are a lot of yards to go on this play. Now, Nick, earlier in the game, we saw the Warriors throw in a similar situation. I believe that was a 3rd and about 19. They picked up 17.
They did.
Do they throw again here and risk getting pushed back further into their own territory, or do they put it on the ground and punt it away?
I think that's the issue you have going into this huddle, because if you give up another sack, and then Britt is going to have to punt it a good length of a way to keep the knockout for having an easy drive on the next time they come up. If you're able to get something through the air, though, and give Williams some time in the pocket, it could lead to something, maybe a broken coverage here or there. Very interesting cause. I would not be surprised if they run the ball here, especially with the formation they have currently going on.
Well, Nick, it's 3rd and 28, not 3rd and 26. Does that change anything?
I don't think it changes much.
I agree with you. 3rd down and long. Short snap. Williams airs it out down the field. Has an open receiver, and that is caught up the near sideline. And Britt nearly was able to break it up the field. She had one defender to beat. But once again, that will set up a 4th and manageable. It's going to be 4th and 4. Huge play by the Warriors wide out.
We talked about the potential of Britt getting those big-time plays, and she's able to convert and make it 4th and now manageable here for the Tri-State. And think of it this, too. With it being about 4th and 4, if they could catch the knockout defense offside, could give them the first down. I'd be curious to see if they try to do that on 4th and 4.
I would not want to be a defensive player on the knockout sideline if I'm the one who jumped off sides in this spot.
And that's why they're taking a timeout to assure them that they don't do that in the situation.
And that's good coaching. Big play here in the first half of this game for New York, and they will spend a timeout. So, Nick, we get to have this conversation again. We thought perhaps they might look to run the ball on 3rd and long. More specifically, you did. I took credit for us collectively, but I did pose the question to you. That's part of the perks of being the play-by-play guy. You don't have to analyze these situations as much, but I'll give my input here on 4th and 4. I don't think that there's much doubt they put this ball in the air. Now, they've already run a quarterback keeper in this spot. Personally, I think that play is probably off the table. The defense has already seen it. I don't think they'd go back there again. I would not be surprised if Tri-State tries to move the pocket as they put the ball in the air in this spot. Also, if they don't look to move the pocket, keep an eye on Cav Johnson. She had that big reception earlier in the game. If they keep the pocket stationary and give Williams some time to throw, perhaps Johnson is one of the big targets she could be looking for in this spot. Of course, the defense will look to key in on Sienna Britt.
Let's see if they try maybe a screenplay here too, Joe. Try to get them some blockers up ahead on 4th and 4.
Bunch formation to the right. Shotgun set for Tri-State. Big 4th down and 4. Williams takes the snap, looks to throw. And she does find Johnson, who makes the catch, but she goes nowhere. Huge tackle by the knockout defense as Johnson was stood up at the line of scrimmage. And they call me Joe Stradamus for a reason, Nick.
They do. I'm surprised Johnson got the ball to begin with. It didn't look like she was going to be able to catch that one. Able to hold on, but a good job by that knockout defense to get the stop there on 4th down, force the turnover on downs, and now they'll have, once again, good field position here at the 46-yard line.
When that ball was released, Nick, I thought we might be looking at a pick 6. Right. That was awfully close. Johnson caught it, and it looked like she had room. That space was closed so quickly by a host of New York defenders. That was a great play to rally and make that tackle. A great throw by Sine Williams as well, just to get that ball to Johnson, but it wasn't enough on 4th and 4, and Tri-State turns the ball over on downs.
And now another daunting task for this Tri-State defense to try to stop the knockout offense.
Fake on the handoff to Jennings. Mesimer keeps it. Plenty of room to run. And she stumbles off the back of Salisbury, her own receiver, but that's still a nice gain of about 4 yards.
Could have had more, though, Joe. Could have had more.
Could have had a few more.
Big break for Tri-State right there. Nonetheless, about a 6-yard play potentially on that play, and now it's 2nd and about medium.
2nd down, New York.
That play does put the knockout in Tri-State territory. The Warriors took over at the start of the second quarter, so there still should be plenty of time left here in quarter number 2, but any score would really hurt Tri-State in this spot. Falling behind by 2 scores makes it a much more difficult hill to climb as Mesimer thought about the pitch on the option and instead keeps it. That looks like no gain on the play, and it's going to be a 3rd down and 5.
And again, Tri-State looking to get a stop here on 3rd and medium here. A stop here could force the knockout to potentially go for it again on 4th down. Huge play for Tri-State as they try to stay in this game.
We'll see what New York looks to do in this spot. You have to think they have 2 plays to get this. I don't think there's any chance they punt, barring a big loss on a sack or some sort of negative play. Receiver in motion, and Mesmer looks to run to her left, but there was nothing there. And Mesmer is down short of the line of scrimmage. That's a loss of 1. And we'll see here if New York elects to go for this. I still presume they would, but that is not what they were looking for on 3rd down.
They were looking for another QB option on that play, maybe an option play overall. Just did not work out on that play.
That was Michelle Reese in motion pre-snap, and she didn't draw much attention from the Tri-State defense. The Warriors remained fixed on the offensive backfield, and it was Janiah Taylor who got there to make the tackle. Now, believe that the Knockout just spent their last time out. They had none left, so with what I would presume is more than half of the second quarter remaining, the Knockout are out of timeouts. Tri-State has 2, and there's no question now that with New York taking a timeout, they're going to go for it here on 4th down. So let's play that game again, Nick. What's the play call?
I think this is a big play overall for both sides because the Knockout, if they're able to get the first down, could really demoralize the momentum of Tri-State defense. If Tri-State gets the stop, however, it could get them back into the game and give them some momentum. I think at the end of the day, you're going to see a pass, maybe like they did on the touchdown pass on the earlier drive that they had in the second quarter. If they could do something like that and catch the Tri-State defense off guard, it could give them the first down and potentially another score in the end zone.
Well, I think if you're the Warriors, going into this second half with a score and receiving the football is the position you want to be in.
Right.
Whether you're down 7-6, perhaps up 8-7, as we haven't seen Tri-State attempt many extra points, that's the position you're looking to be in, and a stop here could go a long way toward getting there. 4th down and about 6. Mesmer looks to throw. Pressure coming. Throw over the middle is incomplete. No flags, and it will be a turnover on downs for New York. Salisbury had a very tight window there at wide receiver. Mesmer nearly got her the ball, but that one falls incomplete.
That's a big break for Tri-State right there to get that turnover on downs. And now, once again, Joe, they'll start in knockout territory. They've done that a lot early in this first half. They just have not been able to get down the field. We've seen the big play potential in this game. If they can get a big play here and not get a penalty, they'll have a chance to get some points on the board before the end of the first half.
Well, we just got a look at Warriors head coach Rich Harrigan on the sideline. He has to be happy with his team's defense. Defensive coordinator is L.B. Robinson. We got a chance to speak to him ahead of Tri-State's last home game against the Nighthawks. And once again, this Tri-State defensive unit has played really well. Just one missed opportunity on a tackle that resulted in 6 points, the big blemish on the stat line so far for them.
And you know, for the offense, you have to have a lot of faith in your defense keeping you in these games. Now it's up to the offense here to try to get them some points and tie this game.
3 receivers to the left of Sine Williams. Shotgun set once again. Williams looking over the middle. Throws, and she is intercepted, but a flag is down on the play, as is a Tri-State wide receiver. 2 flags now down in the secondary, as finally Salisbury's taken down out of bounds. That interception will not stand. And they may also assess a personal foul on that play against the Knockout for a big hit in the secondary. We'll see how the officials sort this one out.
I'm trying to think, Joe, would that negate the penalty then and go offset to keep it first down?
Well, it looks like there were 2 penalties against the Knockout on that play. Sienna Britt took a big hit in the secondary.
There was definitely pass interference.
That was called, and that will be the penalty that is accepted. So pass interference on the play, and there was no question about that one.
Yeah.
Against New York.
And that could be the spark that this Warriors offense needed. We've said that more than once already on a couple of big third down plays, but this one sets up Tri-State with a first down well inside of the New York 40-yard line. This snap will come from the Knockout 37.
Tri-State needs a big play here after that penalty. Can they take advantage and get on the board?
Once again, 3 receivers to the right of Williams. She scrambles that way, tucks the ball in, and looks to run. And this will be a nice gain on the play as Williams is pushed out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
And sometimes it takes the quarterback to scramble and get you some of those yards. Williams saw nothing down the field, decided to keep it and run. She gets about 5 on the play to now make it second at about 5.
Williams, the 3rd leading rusher for Tri-State on the season, has carried the ball 18 times entering today's game, averaging over 4 yards a carry. So not bad numbers running the ball for the Tri-State signal caller. She's certainly a factor carrying the football.
And now on second and 5, it gives you a chance maybe to run a play here, maybe a jet sweep or something, try to fool the knockout defense.
Once again, Nick looking for some trickery. They do have an extra back lined up in the offensive backfield. And they will hand off to Mendez, and she is immediately taken down. First to get there was Kristen Florell.
Keeps it about 3rd and 5 on the play. Still manageable for Tri-State to get this first down. Gotta look to one of your better passing plays here to try to get you that first down and keep the drive going.
Well, if you're the Warriors, I don't think there's much doubt. You have 2 plays to pick this up. They will go for it regardless of the down and distance on 4th. So they have 2 plays to get this. 3rd and about 5. Looks like a long 5, maybe 6. We'll see if they look to put the ball on the ground again. I don't think they will, but they're coming out with 2 backs in the backfield as Williams fakes the handoff and looks to run again, and she floats that one out of bounds.
Smart play by Williams to throw it out of bounds to avoid any lossage. So it looks like Tri-State has taken a timeout.
I thought she had an option to throw on that play, trying to get a look at who it was. And that was number 32, Nicole Muccio, who it looked like had gotten open sprinting across the offensive set. Maybe we'll get a look at a replay if we have one. But if not, I still think Muccio may have had a step on the defensive back on that last play with a chance to make a reception there. But when you're under as much pressure as Williams has been throughout this game, it's sometimes hard to spot those receivers that are positioned to cross your body to your left as you're rolling out to your right.
Well, now, Joe, the biggest question going into this 4th down is, what is the best play that Tri-State has for this play right here to try to convert this 4th down conversion, keep the drive going? We mentioned it in the pregame. They've had troubles this season sustaining their drives. If they're able to get something here and continue the drive, they can get into the end zone. The question is going to be at the end of the day, what do they do on this specific play to keep it going?
Well, I'm going to try and answer that question for you in a very specific fashion. We've seen throughout the season, the Warriors like to run quick slant patterns. If I'm Tri-State in this spot, I'm setting up with 3 receivers out to one side, trip set. I'm giving a screen look, and then I'm throwing a quick slant over the middle. We'll see what they do here. They do have 3 receivers to the right of Williams, so far I'm correct. I'm looking for a fake screen pass to the slot receiver and a quick slant over the middle from the outside. That's what I'm looking for here.
Let's see if they do it on 4th down.
That's what I'm looking for. The receiver at the bottom of the screen is Britt. That's not the play. Looks like a 4 verticals look. Muccio was open, as was Cav Johnson. And Williams with a rare misfire on that throw.
It seemed as if the pressure got to her there. And just a low throw and another missed opportunity for Tri-State as they turn it over on downs. And now gives New York the first down.
Well, I'm curious to see if the protection was there. Let's get a look on this replay. That's a great pocket. And you definitely saw her immediately, Nick. Cav Johnson was left wide open on that play. The question is, did she complete her route past the sticks? It looked like she did, but it may have been close.
Just got to be disheartening overall for the Tri-State offense here in this first half. And once again, now have to rely on the defense to get a stop.
And there's some good running by Jennings, who has a lot of blocking in front of her. Full head of steam out across the 45 and down at the 49-yard line.
Kind of a Marshawn Lynch stiff arm she had in the backfield on that play. Gets it all the way to the knockout 49-yard line for a huge first down rush.
When you have a back that's able to make cuts like that and run over defenders, that is a very dangerous player in the offensive backfield. And that was a Le'Veon Bell-esque kind of carry, reversing field and jump cutting to the opposite sideline. As Mesmer will look to throw, and
that could have been.
Boy, oh boy, that was dangerous.
Normally you want to throw the ball out of bounds in the situations, not want to get intentional grounding most of the time, but right there, that could have been an interception for Tri-State if that ball had a little bit more air on it.
Well, Mesmer hasn't made many mistakes in this game, and that was certainly a mistake. And on top of that, I did not see any white jersey in the area. I'm not sure who the intended target was. There had to be one, unless that was a throwaway gone awry. Tough to tell. Spread pistol formation, and
False
Salisbury got quite a bit of a head start. That's not the first time I've seen that today. It's the first time it was called.
It's been a couple false starts here in the first half. Some called, some not called, but that one called there for a 5-yard loss. And now it's 2nd and long.
Well, I think Tri-State would argue they haven't missed a false start against them because they've had quite a few.
They have had quite a few. And unfortunately, that's what has negated some of those big plays, as we've mentioned already. Now they'll look to force the knockout to get a punt here with 2 more stops.
Once again, a pistol set, bunch to the left of Mesmer, who will look to throw. She airs it out right into a double team and off the fingertips of Netta Wise.
Pass is incomplete.
Wise, one of the premier players in the defensive backfield for Tri-State. Right there, playing at the safety spot, was able to close a lot of distance and get her hand on that football, as you'll see right there on the replay. And that ball's thrown about a yard shorter. That might be going the other way.
Be curious to see, Joe. I'm not sure how much time is left in the first half. Wondering if that's why they're not going to throw in the ball a little bit more than they have in this game. Now 3rd and long. We'll see if they do it again.
Tri-State would love to get it back. They have 1 timeout remaining. Flag flies on the play. And Mesmer is taken down in the backfield.
Flag on the play.
Mesmer arguing with the official that her face mask was used on the play. And I think that might be what the call was.
That flag came in as soon as the play started. I doubt they got...
Unless they threw a second flag. Because I thought I saw the official make the motion in regards to that.
Well, if they do call a face mask here, which it looks like they might, based on that replay,
they did not.
That would be huge.
Encroachment on the defense.
And it looks like the official's not done.
So there was a face mask.
Very lucky if you're Tri-State, because it was offensive encroachment and then a defensive face mask. So the penalties will offset.
I thought I saw the official make the motion towards that face mask. So you're right, Joe. That's a big break for Tri-State. Now it's still 3rd and long. Looking for a stop here to make it 4th and long.
That was a really big call. Spread pistol set. And the Warriors got a great jump. Blaze chasing Mesmer from behind as Mesmer spikes one into the turf, incomplete at the feet of her intended target along the far sideline. I believe that was Reese, who was the intended target on the play, but the pass is incomplete. And it looks like Tri-State will get it back via a knockout punt on 4th down.
I think that's the end of the first half, Joe.
I think you're right. Nick 1, Foreman nothing. As with that, we will head to halftime. Our score at the break, the knockout 7 and the Warriors nothing. Tri-State will receive the second half kickoff when we come back here on the PDF Sports Network. This is exclusive coverage of the Women's Football Alliance.
Warriors 0.
For serious athletes, getting hurt is not an if, it's a when. And when the pain hits your knees, your back, or any one of the many injuries common among athletes, KT Tape is there to help. KT tape is a drug-free elastic sports tape that works when it's stretched and applied to the skin using simple techniques. So don't ignore those nagging sports injuries any longer. Find drug-free pain relief with KT tape so you can train longer and finish stronger.
I have a secret. I'm done settling. Because this is my secret. No, really. I put it on once. No more touch-ups because this stick actually works.
Secret has pH balancing minerals, and it helps eliminate odor instead of just masking it. So no more T-Rex waves or covering up stinky pits when you're not cold. Pull it in close. Just trust me, Secret works.
The football used by 70% of high schools and more NCAA programs than any other is also the #1 selling football in the U.S., the Wilson GST game ball. To ensure superior tack and pebble definition, Wilson sources only the finest leather, which is treated with a proprietary Wilson-developed tanning process. A small team of expert craftsmen then constructs each GST game ball right here in the USA.
One of the biggest obstacles for Dakota with football, I feel like, is all of the injuries. He wasn't comfortable in the equipment that he had. From the start of when he got the pads from Zenith, he was a complete different kid.
He's seeing his development now. He's getting to the age where he's seeing his development and he knows what he's going to do to achieve it.
I love being able to watch him do what he loves. Zenith gave me that.
East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
Cahill drops back and throws. She's got a wide open receiver. Cooper goes to the right, gets a hole, finds enough for a first down, breaks a couple tackles. She's only got one person to beat. She's going to be in for a Minnesota Vixen touchdown.
And she's in for another touchdown.
She's down to the 10, the 5, and she's in. Is she in? For a touchdown!
want to have fun, and we also want to dominate the world.
I feel like as athletes, we're just always beating ourselves up, so we want to stay at the top of our game.
And KT tape is something that every time I pick it up, I know I'm going to be, best supported and enhanced by, so that's awesome.
A lot of times I'm not even injured. It's just coming from, a hard workout and I'm sore the next day. Just a little tape to relieve the pain and get the most out of my training.
I don't have time to mess around. If something's not working, it's like out of my kit. Just every product they use is simple and it's effective and it helps me feel better. It's a beautiful product that supports you. We all need a little more support in life.
I have a secret. I'm in love again. With this, my secret is a new secret dry spray. Totally revamped. And it smells so good. No hold your breath cloud either. It's fresh, people. And it's secret, so it works all day. Thanks, odor fighting spray. Spray fresh, stay fresh. Fam, this works. Secret.
I was all for it from the beginning, secretly.
I told her that, if you join, you're in it. She's fast for her age, and I said, look, if they can't catch you, then they can't tackle you.
We, believe it or not, found an extra small pair of Zenith pads, and I was like, hey, we're gonna get these.
Zenith just fits better. They love it.
Touchdown, come on!
And we are back here on the PDF Sports Network, the start of the second half in this WFA matchup between the Tri-State Warriors and the New York Knockout, coming up in just a few short minutes. Once again, this is Joe Foreman alongside Nick Bavona. And Nick, the Warriors will get the ball to start the second half. A lot of penalties going against Tri-State in half number one. Most of those of the false start variety. If they can clean up the penalties, we've seen some good things from this Warriors offense that give them reasons for optimism heading into half number two.
I think at the end of the day, with it only being a 7-0 game, that's got to give you a little bit of optimism overall. That the way that first half went for Tri-State, you mentioned it, a lot of bad penalties that negated a lot of big plays for the offense. They've had their opportunities in the first half, got in a couple of situations where they've gotten short field position. Think about the first drive of the game that they had. Ball at the 31-yard line. They lose it on a fumble on a pitch play. Then they had that big play for overall on the passing, and then a false start negates it. They've had a lot of that happen in this game, unfortunately. If they can limit those penalties and can get some big-time stops like they've done, because the defense has been bright for them today, other than that one touchdown. If they can continue that success defensively and find a way into the end zone here in the second half, it's all going to be about protecting the quarterback at the end of the day. It will give Tri-State a chance to win the game. You've got to feel a little bit optimistic, as I said, being only down 7-0 the way the first half went.
We've said it all season long, and we've said it throughout this game. The Tri-State defense has given them a chance to win this game. On the other side, if you're the New York Knockout, you did a lot well in the first half, but the Tri-State defense did give them some problems were it not for one big play, a 47-yard touchdown to Catherine Salisbury. We could be scoreless right now and likely would be scoreless right now. Who knows how that drive plays out without that play, but that play was the first play of a drive that came after a Tri-State turnover on downs. There were a lot of good plays in that first half sprinkled across the first 30 minutes for New York, but they really didn't sustain much on the offensive side. Not many lengthy drives, not too many big plays, about 3 or 4 key plays for them in that first half. What are you looking for from New York here in half number 2 in order to maintain this lead?
I think for New York, they haven't really been able to run the football, I think, that the way they would have liked to in this game. One of those big plays was the Jennings run towards the end of the first half. But other than that, Jennings has really not had a lot of breathing room in this game to get those big-time plays for this offense. I think you'll look towards them trying to get those big plays from the running game, but they have made some big plays in the passing game today. You'll probably see a little bit more of that, but they've also got some issues for their offensive line. They've also allowed a couple sacks in this game and have allowed the defense for the Warriors to get into the backfield. So we'll have to see if the knockout can fix those mistakes and try to add to their lead.
Well, there have been bright spots for both teams, as we mentioned, for Tri-State. They did have some big plays. Those were negated by pre-snap penalties. On the other side, New York has also had some big plays, and they've also had issues on exchanges and on snaps. That's something we saw more so earlier in the game. They cleaned that up a bit, but both teams had some things to discuss at halftime, some things to clean up. You get the sense that whatever team is able to clean up some of those miscues will be the team that gains the advantage here in the second half. How important is this first drive of the half for Tri-State? A touchdown would bring them within 1. We have not seen them attempt an extra point this year, so a 2-point conversion could give them the lead. It is of paramount importance for them to stay within 1 score, no doubt. But this first drive, getting on the board, how important would that be?
Especially the way the first half went. You saw the momentum kind of going Tri-State way at the end of the first drive for the knockout. A bad punt led to good field position, and the fumble happened as soon as that happened for Tri-State. If Tri-State can fix those mistakes here in the second half, get a touchdown drive here, maybe even go for 2 points, that very well could be the game-winning drive for Tri-State at the end of the day, the way their defense has played overall today. So we'll have to see. It very well could be next score wins this game overall.
And it's been a bit surprising how little the Warriors have run the football. We've seen them typically a pass-first team for much of the season in the games we've covered. At the very least, a 50-50 split. They're one of the few teams in the league that average more yards per game through the air than they do on the ground. We have seen a lot of the Tri-State passing game in this one. And if they're going to continue to pass at this rate, 3 words, Nick: protect the quarterback.
We talked about it in the pregame. Protecting the quarterback is a huge factor. And I mentioned it earlier. The false starts are definitely getting to that offensive line and are leading to some bad plays in the backfield that lead to those sacks. They can fix those mistakes in the second half. There's still a lot of football left to be played for Tri-State in trying to save their season.
And if you're New York in the second half, I think what's very important for them, protect the football.
Right.
Do not let Tri-State score on defense. Do not let Tri-State get to within scoring range on defense. Make the Warriors earn every yard. Make them fight and grind it out just to get in the end zone. And if you're the knockout and you get ahead by 2 possessions, you have to feel really good about your chances of winning this game. They won't get a chance to do that here, but if you're New York, you'd love to get ahead by 2 scores. It looks like another short kickoff, perhaps an onside kick attempt, and the knockout might have it. We'll see which way this one goes, as that was awfully close, and it will be Tri-State football. I know we're going to get a closer look at that play, Nick.
Joe, you almost jinxed it right there.
It looked like the Warriors had it, Nick, and it's, for lack of a better word, it's baffling how much trouble Tri-State has had scooping up kickoffs. That's not really an onside kick attempt. It's not a short kick. That's to the second line of special teamers for the Warriors, and they just couldn't scoop that ball up until the last moment.
Sometimes those bounces play a factor when it comes down to those kicks. Took a good bounce right there to bobble off the player, and it almost led to an onside recovery in lack of a term of words for the knockout. Now for the Warriors, they'll have good field positioning here, trying to get their first points of the game.
Spread shotgun set once again for Tri-State. Williams fields that snap on a bounce and is immediately taken down in the backfield. That's just a miserable start for Tri-State in the second half.
Had no chance right there after the low snap, and not the way you want to start the second half here if you're Tri-State. Now second and long here, looking to get a big play. That's been an issue for them as well, Joe. They've had a lot of long plays, and they've had those big-time plays overall, but it's led to them still not converting it at the end of the day. we'll have to see if they try to get something here to make it third and manageable.
Well, Nick, what's been a big part of the problem, those big plays are coming on third down and 15 plus. Right. They're moving backwards on early downs, and that snap put Williams in an impossible position, and she was immediately sacked. You can't have that. We'll see if they can get things together here on second down. That's a good snap. Williams rolls to the right, throws toward the sideline, and that pass is incomplete.
A little bit out of reach right there on the throw from Williams. Now, immediately third and long coming up for Tri-State. Not a good start to this second half, and you mentioned it. They've had a lot of third and longs that they've gotten to make it fourth and short. They might have to do it again here in order to have an opportunity to get down the field.
If I'm not mistaken, Nick, the two biggest plays in this game that have stood have both come on third down and long.
They have.
Once again, third down and long here, third and about 17. It's a spread shotgun set for the Warriors. Williams will look to throw. She has some time. Fires down the middle of the field. That's caught by Britt. And that looks like it is enough for a first down. It is by just a couple of inches. That was close. And Nick, once again, Tri-State delivers on third and long.
Good job by Tri-State there. Get a good pass up the middle. And just by a couple of inches, Joe, they get the first down. That's some big momentum in the rest of this drive. Can they get their first points and make this an interesting game?
Well, if you're Lou Butts and this New York coaching staff, you have to wonder what's going on third down. Because on third down, the Warriors have gotten their best protection and completed their biggest passes. As we have a first down handoff here, and that will go for about 2 yards. That was Mendez on the carry.
You see right there, Tri-State once again trying to implement the rushing attack in this game. Getting 2 on that one to make it 2nd and 8. Can the offense maybe try to catch the knockout once again off guard and get another good play here?
Well, Nick, at the very least, if you're Tri-State, you moved forward on first down. And I don't mean to say that in a patronizing way, but they've had so many first down penalties and negative plays that to put yourself in a second and manageable situation at this point is a big step in the right direction coming out of halftime.
Let's see if they can get some more yards here on 2nd and 8.
3 receivers to the right of Williams in the shotgun here. She will throw left on the slant, and that's just a bit off target. Netta Wise, the intended receiver.
Wise trying to make the catch there, and if she didn't get a hand on that one, Joe, that could have been going the other way for the knockout for an interception. So a good job by Wise to knock that one down. Now 3rd and 8. It's a very manageable third down this time for Tri-State compared to the previous third down that they had. Going to be interesting to see what they call on this one.
I like that play call to try and set up a third and short. The look was there for Wise. It's now a bunch set on third down. We've seen the Warriors look to move the pocket in these spots. We'll see if they do so again here. They will. Williams rolling to the right, throws short, and it's too short for the intended target.
Flag on the field, Joe. It might be a false start again on the offense.
We'll find out in just a few moments. It looks like they're going to ask the knockout sideline whether or not they want to accept the penalty, and they have declined the false start. So 4th down and 8, Nick. No doubt they're going to put the ball in the air here. And you have to wonder how many more looks this Tri-State offense has in the passing game.
They've gotten a lot of opportunities in this scheme. They really need this 4th down conversion here in order to have a chance, because if not, it will give the knockout some decent field positioning trying to add to their lead. So a huge 4th down here coming up for Tri-State.
Another big question moving forward, how feasible is a field goal for the knockout? Because that would make it a 2-score game and make it a bit easier to get points on the board. 4th down and 8. Williams looking to throw. Rolls to her right, has a lot of room. She may look to take off here. There she goes. She's headed for the first down marker, and she gets there. More blocking up the sideline, and Williams ducks out of bounds at the knockout 24-yard line.
How about the job by Williams right there, noticing the amount of space on that right side of the field. There was not a defender in sight for the knockout. Big-time first down for Tri-State, and now they have their best field positioning of the day, trying to get their first points. Huge 4th down conversion.
Now, is that the biggest play of the game for the Warriors, Nick? It just might be.
It compared to that and the long third down they had earlier in the first half, it's very debatable, but I think that might be their longest play of the day.
I think that is the longest play of this game, and that sets up the Warriors offense just outside of the red zone. Wise in motion, bunch set to the right of Williams, one back in the backfield. Williams will take the snap and once again roll right. Short pass is complete, but the tackle is made right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Trying to get something there on a short pass. No gain there. Remains 2nd and 10 now. Ball is at the 23-yard line of the knockout.
Shante Stewart-Wallace on the reception. No gain on first down. And that will set up a 2nd and 10. Now, you have to wonder as well, and we've spoken about this during other broadcasts, does it negatively impact Tri-State to move in a bit closer to the end zone in terms of the passing game and how much room they have to work with?
Considering most of their touchdowns have been on big plays, that is definitely a factor. They'll look to negate that statement here.
And Williams bumped into her back, but gets a nice block, and Williams should have thrown that away.
Yep.
Initially, she bumped into Lisa Fisher, and then Fisher gave her a good block, which was very close to being a block in the back.
Yeah. Now, because of that, instead of her throwing it away, now she loses 3 yards on the play. And again, it's 3rd and long for Tri-State.
I think right now, Tri-State is in that sweet spot where it doesn't hurt you to be closer to the end zone. If they were to pick up a first down, then you start to find yourself limited in terms of how much space there is to work with offensively. But before they worry about that, they have to pick up a first down. It's 3rd and about 13, so they'll have 2 plays to get this. We don't expect Tri-State to attempt any field goals. 3 receivers to the left of Williams in the shotgun, 1 back in the backfield. 1 receiver one-on-one near the far sideline as well. Williams will look to her left, flags fly.
I think we have an encroachment on the defense.
And I believe you are right, Nick. That was the signal. And that's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the knockout, which will make this a 3rd and a bit shorter.
They're in about 8 to be exact, I believe, on this play. So, huge chance for Williams here in the Tri-State offense on 3rd and 8. A very manageable 3rd down here.
Remains 3rd down.
Tri-State will have it 3rd down and 8. Once again, we expect that they'll have 2 plays to get this. And the Warriors just feels like they have to have a first down and keep this drive going. Though, at the very least, if they don't get it, the knockout will start this drive pinned deep in their own territory. Huge play here for the Warriors offense. 3 receivers to the left of Williams, 1 receiver wide right. 1 back in the backfield. Williams looks left, wants to throw. Nothing is open. Williams floats one to Britt, and it hits right off her hands. She was open. A nice adjustment by Britt as that play broke down, but she couldn't bring in the pass.
If you're Tri-State, that's a tough one right there. Your leading receiver in terms of yards just drops it right there. Now makes it 4th down for Tri-State here, just outside of the red zone, looking for another big conversion to keep this drive going.
Well, I'm curious to know if that route by Britt was the play design or a product of Williams extending the play. That looked like a zig route when we watched the replay there, but that last cut may have just been a result of the play breaking down. Spread shotgun look here on 4th down. 8 yards to go for the Warriors offense. They trail by 7 and are looking to keep their first drive of the second half alive. Williams will look to throw. She's eyeing the left side of the field, running out of time. Steps forward, looks to run, and it looks like she may have enough for the first down. And this will be awfully close. I think she's got it, and she does.
Wow. I was curious, Joe, because the previous play, she had a chance to run and get the first down. She threw it to Britt. The drop happened, unfortunately, but look at her on that play. She had pressure coming from the right side, was able to step up in the pocket, get up the field, break a tackle, and get a big first down. Another 4th down conversion for Tri-State.
And that last bit of effort near the end of that play might have been the difference. Andrew, let's get one more look at it. Andrew Rotundo, our engineer today. Dave Pizzuto and Louis Matrone, our camera operators today. Dave on the hero cam for us. Louis up on the roof, getting the wide shot of the action down on the field as we'll get one more look at that last replay. And Nick, I could not believe Williams escaped. And then you'll see right here, she bounces off one final tackle attempt before she went down. I think that was the difference between turnover on downs and first down Tri-State.
That is the heart of a champion right there by Williams to get up the middle, break those tackles, and just get enough for that first down and force the knockout now to call a timeout here because they've had 2 plays on a chance to stop this drive multiple times here in this second half. Now, for Tri-State, they're in the red zone for the first time, looking to get their first points. They're at about the 13-yard line here. Great chance here for the Warriors.
I'm not sure if the viewers can hear the music selection that was played during the timeout, but the Warriors have needed a hero on this drive. And so far, that has been Sine Williams. 2 huge carries, and that has to be perhaps one of the more unexpected sources of Warriors offense that we've seen in this game. 2 huge runs have the Warriors set up inside the 15. They hand it off here, and not much on that first down carry.
A 2-yard play there for Tri-State to make it 2nd and 8 here as they are approaching the 10-yard line. The rule is now a gain of 1, so now it's 2nd and 9.
1-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 9 for the Warriors.
2nd down and 9 to go following that short first down run.
Now it comes down to what goal line plays do you have if you're Tri-State to try to get those points in this game.
And a miscommunication on the snap, and that will result in a huge loss on the play. We weren't ready for the snap, and Williams was not ready for the snap either, and that's just a backbreaker for this Warriors offense.
And now look where it puts the ball at, Joe. I believe it's going to be marked down at the 24-yard line. Timeout taken by Tri-State. And again, they're going to have another 3rd and very long. They have to get to around the 4-yard line, it looks like, maybe the 3-yard line to get the first down.
Out on the field by the Warriors. That is their
and with that timeout, we will head to a quick commercial break, a brief message from our sponsors. When we come back, the longest third down of the day for Tri-State. They've connected on several big third down plays. They're going to need one more when we return.
I was all for it from the beginning, secretly.
I told her that, if you joined, you're in it. She's fast for her age, and I said, look, if they can't catch you, then they can't tackle you.
And we are back from Memorial Stadium. 3rd down and long, Tri-State. And Cav Johnson had a step there, but that pass was just a bit overthrown by Williams. And Nick, if you're the Warriors, you can't ask for a much better look than that on 3rd and long.
Just needed a little bit more on that one. Williams just a little bit out in front on the throw. Now, 4th and very long, have to get to the 3-yard line to keep the drive going. We talked about earlier, Joe, needing a hero. They're going to need a hero on this one to keep the drive going.
And that was good play design on that last one by Tri-State. As Johnson ran what looked to be an out and up along the near side. It didn't appear that the knockout were ready. 4th down and long. Spread shotgun set. Williams takes the snap. Pressure coming. Williams airs it out. Britt One-on-one coverage, and she drops the ball. But it looked like the defender had gotten there early.
Joe, I think that was pass interference. I saw her tugging up the jersey on the play.
Britt had it and dropped it. I thought for sure we would get a flag. We're going to get a second look at that play, but initially Britt had it, and she dropped the ball at the tail end of that play. Great throw by Williams, as you'll see here on the replay. And Andrew, let's wind that back a bit and see if the defender was early. In real time, I certainly thought she was early.
I thought for sure there was also pass interference on the play, a little bit of a tug on the jersey from the defender, and at the end of the day, the Knockout get a big break. They get to force the turnover on downs, and now after a long drive for Tri-State, first down for New York.
First down play is a carry by Mesmer as we do get one more look, and
flag on the field as well, Joe.
We'll have to let our viewers at home be the judge. As in real time, I thought she got there early in the defensive backfield. Andrew, what did you think? Early or not early? A little early. Well, Andrew didn't get the he didn't get the hand signals. Andrew thought she was early. Nick, what did you think?
I think she was early, but like I've said a couple times, I think there was pass interference on the play that the referee didn't see. I believe the call on the field here was, I want to say, a face mask against the Tri-State defense. So another big penalty for the Warriors allowed, and the Knockout now looking to take advantage and potentially deliver that knockout blow in this game.
All right, Nick Durst.
Too easy.
That was an easy one. Now, Nick Durst, who we've already mentioned once today, a big fan of the puns, is a bit of a miscommunication on that snap by the Knockout, and it won't matter. As the ball carrier was thrown out of bounds, and that was Salisbury on that carry.
Ball is carried by Salisbury.
You could see, Joe, the frustration right now for Tri-State after that long drive, not ending in points. Then you have the face mask on first down. Now that play there, the Knockout are looking to take advantage of it overall and get the second touchdown of this game.
That drive by the Warriors to open the second half not only extended over a long period of time, but I guess it goes without saying, it was perhaps the most sustained drive of the game, as once again a miscommunication in the offensive backfield by the Knockout. And after that big face mask, a couple of sloppy-looking plays for New York here, as the Warriors will have a chance to get off the field on third down.
And again, another interesting snap that didn't go the way of the Knockout. And if you're Tri-State, if you want to have a chance to stay alive in this game, a stop here, maybe a potential stop on fourth down as well, could be huge for Tri-State. Potential 2 stops remaining for this defense.
Third down and about 6. Spread pistol set for New York. They send a receiver in motion and will look to run. Blocking ahead of Salisbury, and she has the first down and more. As Salisbury fights toward the 40-yard line, she is pushed out at the Tri-State 42.
Big time run there for the Knockout to get the first down at around the 42-yard line. First down for New York, and I believe now a timeout called by Tri-State.
Good lead block on that play by Christy Van Bibber of the Knockout, helping to set up that first down run. She was the receiver sent in motion, and that got that play started. As we've seen Salisbury getting the snaps at quarterback to open up the second half. Now, I was looking away at the replay monitor ahead of the first play of the drive. Was Mesmer in there for the first play?
I didn't see her on there.
I called the action from over by the replay monitor as if Mesmer was in the game, but that may have been Salisbury as well. If it was not, then perhaps Mesmer was a bit shaken up on the first play. We see her over on the sideline. She looks fine. But rather than have their starting signal caller in the game, Salisbury, who's had a big game at receiver and nearly had an INT on defense, that was negated by pass interference. She's now under center and having some success carrying the football.
We saw earlier in the game when she was setting up as a wide receiver, she had a couple of runs on a jet sweep. So she definitely has that running ability for this offense, and she's done it very well here on this drive as New York trying to get the second touchdown of this game and extend that lead.
First down and 10. Salisbury still in there at quarterback, and Jennings takes the handoff now. For a moment, I thought the football may have come out. Was that a miscommunication on the play call, or was that a play fake?
I want to think that's a play fake, but it looked like miscommunication. But, I mean, they got a yard out of it, so I guess it didn't fully hurt them at the end of the day.
It's a bit tough to tell. As right now, if you're New York here and you get into field goal range, a field goal could put you ahead by 2 possessions, and that would be backbreaking for Tri-State. The question is, what is the range of their kicker? Salisbury will keep it again, and that's going to be about a yard short, maybe 2 yards short of a first down, as she takes it inside the Tri-State 35-yard line.
Another good run there, and about 3rd and short coming up for New York, as now they look to pound the football down the throat of the Warriors, get into the end zone, extend that lead. Let's see if Tri-State can get a stop here.
3rd down and short. Tri-State looking to set up a 4th down, and it looks like they might do it, as they are going to rule Jennings 1 yard short. And Nick, this play could change the complexion of the entire game. The Warriors need to have a stop. If the knockout pick up this first down, they could set up a field goal that makes it a 2-possession game.
Well, I think you're going to see Jennings once again getting the football, and I think if you're Tri-State, just try to avoid Jennings getting up the field and try to, push the pile and get that first down. It's going to be up to Tri-State's defense here. Huge 4th and 1 coming up. Can Tri-State get that turnover on downs forced?
4th and 1. Handoff goes to Jennings, and she's got it. She will carry it down toward the 30-yard line.
Now, Joe, I don't know if that was Jennings. I think that was number 7.
Well, Jennings was in on the play, and it looks like she is the one at the bottom of the pile. That was Jennings.
Okay, never mind.
There was a 7 on that jersey. But
Joe won, Nick won.
It was accompanied by it, too. I appreciate that.
But
Your mistake was worse.
Yeah, my mistake was worse. But, I mean, you figured that the 4th and short, they were going to go to Jennings on that play, try to push the pile. That's exactly what they do. And now the drive continues for the knockout.
Salisbury will look to carry again. Lead blocked by Jennings. A second block by Jennings. And Salisbury with a burst of speed into the second level. She's down just outside of the Tri-State 15. And you have to think this might put New York in field goal range. Should they elect to attempt a field goal, they could potentially put this game away with a touchdown.
Well, we saw Salisbury with the touchdown earlier, that blazing speed she had on that touchdown reception. So another big run right there for her to get it just within the 15-yard line. The knockout looking for a touchdown here, but you're right, a field goal also could put this game out of reach the way the offense has been for Tri-State.
First down handoff goes to Jennings, and she is met by a swarm of tacklers after a gain of about 2 yards. 2nd down and 8 for New York. This next snap will come from the Tri-State 13-yard line.
And thinking about this, a long drive for Tri-State, milking up a lot of clock here in the 3rd quarter. Now the knockout are also having a long drive here due to the amount of running they've done here. We could be a couple minutes away from the 4th quarter. Knockout are trying to milk the clock and win this game.
So tough to gauge where we're at as there's a botched snap. And if Tri-State could have gotten on top of that football, once again this game completely shifts in the other direction. Instead, it's going to be 3rd and 10. Now, Nick, I've mentioned it several times already during this drive. Whether or not the knockout are capable of delivering on a field goal from this point on the field is crucial right now. Because if they can kick it from here, they can hand the ball off and then try the field goal. If not, they need a first down. And they will look to get it on the ground. Flag flies as Salisbury is dragging tacklers inside the 10. She takes a huge hit at the end of that play.
They ruled her down just short of that first down marker, but we'll have to see what the penalty is.
I think that was Shanna Alexander.
I think they're picking it up.
Who delivered a huge hit at the end of that play.
And they're going to wave off the flag, Joe. I think they're picking it up, so it's going to be 4th and short coming up.
No flag on the play. 4th and short.
How short is the question?
For New York.
Looks like by a couple inches. Maybe a yard.
This could be the last stand for Tri-State right here. Now, the spot along the far sideline is indicating a 4th and about 2. Looks like 4th and an even 2 based on the spot along the far sideline. So New York, we'll talk about this one a bit longer. We'll stay right here. Nick, you have Jennings in the backfield. It seems like a certainty she'll get the football on this spot, but with the emergence of Salisbury as a ball carrier on this drive, you also have that threat. Where's the football going here?
I think on 4th and short, it probably goes to Jennings. But I would not be surprised if they try a QB option on the play and try to fool Jennings and try to go to the outside with Salisbury to get that touchdown. I think, though, it will probably go to Jennings here, being that it's 4th and short. They'll try to get something up the middle, get the first down, and get into the goal line to try to get the second touchdown.
If they were to play fake to Jennings and keep the ball in the hands of Salisbury, I would have one route that runs from the complete opposite side of the field, just in case. There was certainly a chance the Warriors could lose one receiver in the secondary, but I think they're keeping the ball on the ground here. I would be surprised if the handoff doesn't go to Jennings.
Tri-State can really hope for a bad snap here, try to get the stop.
And they're going to use Jennings as a lead blocker. And a flag flies in the backfield. Salisbury has the first down and is in for 6. Now, we'll see what the flag is. The New York sideline doesn't look happy.
I would have to think it's holding with it being in the backfield.
I agree with you, Nick. And I thought there was a real chance that the Warriors would sell out on Salisbury, not giving her a chance to carry the football.
Holding against New York.
And that's a holding penalty, Nick. So that sets up a 4th and about 12. And it looks like Mesimer's going to come back into the game as they will have to throw for this 4th down. That's a huge call against the knockout.
The knockout will try to run the football, milk some clock here in the second half. But now with it 4th and long, now they'll have to try to throw it through the air and get that first down. Huge chance again for Tri-State to get a stop here.
Ball is at the 15.
This snap will come from the 15-yard line now. It was 10 yards from the spot.
Right.
So the hold occurred in front of the line of scrimmage. So it's instead a 4th and about 9. New York looks to throw. One-on-one coverage. Corner of the end zone, and the pass is caught for a New York touchdown. Catherine Salisbury with her second touchdown grab of the game, and that gives the knockout a 2-score lead. It's 13-0.
Salisbury's been all over the field today, Joe. Another receiving touchdown. Had a pick that was negated due to pass interference as well on the defensive side. Running the football a lot on this drive alone. But you see it on the replay there. It just was a bad misread of the ball from the Tri-State defender, leading to that touchdown to now extend the knockout lead.
A rare miscue for Netta Wise in the secondary. She's been so good in the games we've covered as somehow that kick wasn't blocked.
The extra point is no good.
The extra point is no good. Somehow that wasn't blocked.
New York 13.
There were no fewer than 5 Warriors surrounding the spot where that football had been placed on the tee, or I should say, beneath the fingertips of the holder. No tee on the extra point, but nonetheless, the extra point is no good. The score is 13-0 in favor of the knockout, and now the Warriors are in desperation mode on offense. The two teams haven't changed sides yet, so we're still in the third quarter. We have to be nearing the end of quarter number 3.
I would say about maybe 1 to 2 minutes left in the quarter, maybe even less than that. But for Tri-State, just a really, really tough way to this second half has gone for them so far. Had a great drive going, got inside the 10-yard line. A bad fumble cost them that drive, and it led to them not scoring. And then on the defensive side, giving up that touchdown on 4th down. Now, the offense, they need a score right here, Joe, or else it might be game over. And that's going to be a flag on the kickoff. Ball went out of bounds, so Tri-State will have good field positioning once again here.
Well, let's see.
Unless they re-kick it.
Where they spot it. It looks like they're going to spot this one at the New York 44. And if you're Tri-State, there's no question you have to score on this drive. But it becomes a lot easier if you start from the opposing 44-yard line. Though it looks like the kicking team is going to stay out there for now. The knockout kicking team, that is. Looks like the Warriors' offense is on the field, and New York will get their defense on the field.
Well, I think with the penalty, they'll move the ball now to the 39-yard line of the knockout. So 39 yards to the end zone for Tri-State here. We said it. I think a touchdown here is a necessity for Tri-State to get back into this game and give that defense a chance to, get the offense back on the field to get the tying or maybe go-ahead touchdown of this one.
Tri-State needs to score. They still have time. They don't have to do it very quickly, but they need points. Trailing by 13 following that last knockout touchdown. Pitch goes to Mendez. Good blocking in front of her, but a better tackle on that play by Van Bibber, who took down Mendez on that play. Nick, it looked like there was a hole there, but Van Bibber closed it quickly.
And that's big for the knockout because that could have been a huge play for Tri-State. And that's going to be now the end of the third quarter, Joe. So it'll be 1 quarter left for Tri-State to overcome this 13-point deficit. Let's see what they could do in the fourth.
So we're going to stay right here during this break between quarters and let you know that this timeout between the third and fourth quarters is brought to you by Christo's Pizza and Grill, located at 1052 Livingston Avenue in North Brunswick. Call your own timeout and order now at 732-543-0891. I see Nick on his phone. Job well done, Nick. Or you can visit Christo's Pizza and Grill online. That's Christo's with a C, C-R-I-S-T-O-S. That is at ChristosPizzaandGrill.com. Delicious food and free delivery available now. Also, a special thank you to our other sponsor for this timeout, Tons of Buns Food Truck. Find out where Tons of Buns is by visiting them on Instagram and Facebook. They are at Tons of Buns 21 on Instagram and Tons_of_Buns 2021 on Facebook. Mouthwatering creations going on now. Like, follow, visit, and book us. Tons of Buns Food Truck.
Mouthwatering stuff, Joe.
Just as it was at the conclusion of our pregame. And if you're Tri-State right now, you are hungry for some points.
You are.
They have not scored yet in this game. They did not score until the closing minutes of their last home game against the Baltimore Nighthawks, and they would love to send their fans home happy in this regular season home finale as they look to get on the board for the first time here today. They will snap it from the New York 38-yard line. Short gain on that first down carry. Williams will now look to throw as she rolls left. Avoids one tackler in the backfield. Williams has room to run. She takes off up the sideline and is knocked out of bounds close to the sticks. And I think that's going to be enough for a Tri-State first down.
Late flag there, Joe.
Very late.
I think it's unsportsmanlike. Was that the call?
That is the call, and it is against the knockout. So just 2 plays into this drive, Tri-State may find themselves inside the red zone here. I think they will if they add that to the end of the run.
They will. So that's big for Tri-State to get back into this game. I talked about it in the pregame. The knockout are also not immune to giving up a lot of penalty yards on the season. So the Warriors now can try to take advantage of that big run and the penalty added on the yards. Now they'll be at the 15-yard line. This is the best chance Tri-State has had, I would venture to say, all game, other than that one drive they had inside the red zone, their last drive.
And that was a big play for the Tri-State offense, compounded by a 15-yard personal foul for unsportsmanlike conduct against the knockout. Williams hands off. Mendez carries up the middle, and she is immediately met by 3 knockout tacklers and lost in this game, Nick, perhaps. And the New York defense deserves a lot of credit for it. They've been tremendous against the run out of the backfield. They've had a tough time containing Williams, but the Tri-State running game has gone nowhere all night.
And that's just a key testament to this knockout defense. It's one of the better defenses in Division III. Looking for another stop back into their own territory like they did the previous drive. If they can do it here, Joe, it really could end the game here for Tri-State. They need to get into the end zone.
2nd down and 10. Didn't see if the Warriors called timeout, but it seems like it has been a lot of time since that last snap. We'll see how quickly they get to the line and snap this ball.
They cannot afford another delay game.
They moved quickly there and not quickly enough.
It's penalties like that, Joe, that's been hurting this team all day. Can't afford another delay game like that, especially when you have the opposing team back into their own territory. Now they lose 5 yards.
Well, Nick, I had no indication from the official that they were close to a delay of game, but you could just sense it from up here how long it took to get that play in and to get set offensively. You could just feel it up here in the booth. Looked like one of the receivers may have lined up in the wrong position. Either that or they were set to go in motion before the snap and didn't have time to do so. Trips to the left of Williams. She will look to pass on 2nd and long. Williams throws down the field. Britt is there, and she makes the catch at the goal line and crosses in for a Tri-State touchdown.
Another touchdown on the season for Britt. That's number 4 on the season for her, extending her lead on the team. And we've got a ball game now, Joe. It's now 13-6 with that touchdown score. That's a big momentum spark for Tri-State.
4 touchdowns through the air for Williams and 4 receiving touchdowns for Sienna Britt. That connection has been big for this Tri-State offense all season, and now Tri-State will go for 2 with a chance to make this a 5-point game. This remains a 1-possession game regardless of whether or not the Warriors convert here. Spread shotgun set. Williams wants to throw as she rolls right. She heaves one up toward the goal line, and that is caught. Netta Wise with the reception on the 2-point conversion. And Tri-State now trails by just 5, Nick. A touchdown would give them the lead.
And how about that by this team? They got to delay a game the previous play before that touchdown. You would think that would hurt a team, but the way we've seen this offense this year for Tri-State, it kind of helps them in a way by getting a little bit more yards for their touchdowns. They get it there. Huge 2-point conversion that follows after. And now with the stop, if they're able to get that stop and get back into the end zone the next drive, they could take a 14-13 lead. Huge possession coming up for the Tri-State defense.
Well, Nick, what 3 words have been our key to the game for this Tri-State offense?
Anything's possible.
That's a good answer.
That's a good answer.
The answer I was looking for. Protect the quarterback.
Protect the quarterback,
Nick.
okay.
Protect the quarterback.
At least I gave you 3 words.
Yes.
It could have been worse.
It definitely could have been worse. If you had said anything is possible here, you would have lost your headset privileges. But protect the quarterback.
Protect the quarterback.
Is the answer I was looking for. And on those last 2 plays, the Warriors did just that. And they convert on the 2-point try to make it a 5-point game. And that's huge because now you don't have to worry about a 2-point try next time.
And how about the thing for Williams on that 2-point conversion? She put it in a spot that only Wise could grab it and no one else for the knockout. She put it in the most perfect spot for her teammate to make this now a 5-point game. We'll have to see now if that defense can get a big-time stop here. We saw on the last drive, though, for the knockout, they were able to run the ball efficiently. It'll be up to the Warriors' defense to avoid that happening for a second straight drive.
And Williams didn't just throw a perfect ball there. She did so on the run. And she was being pursued from behind, but Williams has had to contend with pressure around her all season. She's shown that she's capable of getting the ball away under pressure if given the time to do so. And we saw that on full display on each of those last 2 plays. End over end kick comes to a stop inside the 30. And a good return here on that kickoff by Katrina Miner.
And a late flag again, Joe.
Kick is returned by Miner.
Which way is this call going?
Play.
And that's another penalty against Tri-State. Now, I'm not sure what that signal was for.
I'm not sure either.
Well, it appears we had a good look at it on our broadcast. I can't say I've ever seen that signal for a penalty. Usually the two arms extended is too many players in the field without the fists, correct?
Now, was the ball originally marked out at the 42? That's where the tackle was made. Were they signaling maybe for the bench, maybe giving them a sideline warning to move back?
Not sure.
I can't think of what the call would have been. Because they didn't do anything on the flag and move it in terms of moving the ball, unless they're doing it now.
Was there definitely a flag on the field?
There was.
Okay, I thought so. Well, it appears that flag had no impact on where the ball was spotted.
Must have been a sideline warning. That's the only thing I can think of.
All right, spread pistol set. Mesmer back in the game as Jennings takes the handoff. A lot of room to run for her. And she's out of bounds across midfield. And the ball will be spotted right at the midfield stripe, 2 yards short of a New York first down.
Huge 8-yard gain on the first play of this drive for the knockout. Looking to get back into the end zone and once again extend that lead. It's a one-possession game. Tri-State really could use a stop here.
And there's a great close-up look at that carry by Jennings once again, courtesy of our hero camera today, as Jennings will take a carry up the middle, look to spin off a tackle. She has the first down and will be taken down at about the 46-yard line.
Another good run right there for the knockout to get the first down. As they are 46 yards away from extending that lead, trying to put the icing on the cake here today for a big win.
Well, the Warriors didn't need to score quickly to open this quarter, but they did score quickly. That certainly helps them in this spot. They can afford to just play defense as they would in any one-possession game. They will have time to get it back as sweep goes to Salisbury, and that is a big tackle by Netta Wise, who was able to take Salisbury down by the ankles.
If Wise does not make that tackle, a lot of breathing room for Salisbury there to make some big-time play for the knockout. Instead now, nothing on that carry to make it second down.
And how much of a disruption in your rhythm is it for the signal caller, Mesmer, to come out of the game to start the half? The team scores, but then she only played a couple of plays on that drive. She now has to come back in and play quarterback. She's had quite the layoff outside of those two plays as Jennings broke a tackle in the backfield, and that's going to cost the Warriors no less than 13 yards as they had a chance there to bring Jennings down at the line of scrimmage, but Jennings got away from Monica Joseph.
Jennings gets it all the way to the Tri-State 33-yard line there with that first down run. As now the knockout trying to milk the clock here in the fourth quarter. It give Tri-State no chance to come back, looking for a touchdown to end this one.
Something else to keep in mind, if the knockout do attempt a field goal and convert on that try, it would still remain a one-possession game. Quarterback run here for Mesmer. And Blaze with another tackle. She's been everywhere in this game as that goes for a gain of about 3.
Good job by Blaze there to make the tackle. A short pickup of 3 yards on the play to make it second and about 7 coming up for the knockout.
Second and 7 for New York.
We spoke about the sack numbers for Tri-State before this game, and something the knockout have done a really good job of is neutralizing that pass rush. They haven't given the pass rushers of Tri-State a chance to have an impact on this game.
And the only time they've had a chance is on broken, misplayed snaps.
Spread pistol formation. Mesmer rolls to her right. Has a receiver down the field. Instead throws a bit shorter. A flag flies. And we'll see who this call goes against. A flag in the secondary doesn't bode well for Tri-State.
I'll have to see if it's maybe a holding.
I thought that they were about to take a shot up the right sideline there. Looked like the receiver had a step.
And indeed, the call is holding on the Tri-State defense. Automatic first down now for the knockout.
Well, that beats pass interference, but that would have been third down coming up. Instead, it's first down. As the knockout move into the red zone, they will snap this one from the 20-yard line.
First and 10, New York.
Again, Tri-State backed into their own territory. 20 yards for the knockout to extend that lead.
Once again, a spread pistol formation. Bessemer will look to throw. She now scrambles right, running out of time, got it away, and that was caught by Van Bibber, who was then laid out as words are exchanged along the sideline, and a flag was thrown on the play. Now, was that flag?
It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct, Joe.
Was it against Van Bibber or Wise?
I think it's going to be against Wise. It looked like kind of a taunting on that.
Wise was initially upset.
We'll see what they call, but I think it's against Wise. Unsportsmanlike. No.
That's what I thought, because Wise was initially upset, but the official appeared to calm her down very quickly. And, Nick, that is perhaps the biggest penalty of this game.
I for sure thought that was against Wise because she was talking. Now, credit, I didn't see the whole play with the initial point of contact. I saw Wise make the hit and then taunting, a kind of an instinct after that. So that penalty is now big because it moves the ball back to the 35-yard line. If you're Tri-State, you've got to take advantage of that.
Van Bibber definitely had something to say. Wise responded, and then the flag came out, which made it look like Wise may have been the player flagged. Second and very long. Handoff to Jennings. And there's a big collision. Jennings broke the tackle of Blaze, didn't get much further, and Blaze is down. That was a violent collision in the backfield.
Well, Blaze did the one thing she could do on the play, and that's at least stop Jennings in her tracks so that she could not able to keep running up the field and not get as many yards as she did. So, short pickup on the play now makes it 3rd and long.
Truck stick engaged by Jennings on that play, and Blaze was shaken up. Initially, it looked like that left arm had gone limp, which usually means shoulder injury, but she was able to use that left arm to help herself back to her feet, and Blaze appears okay. We'll see how many plays she misses. That's a big loss for this Tri-State defense. But right now, it is 3rd down and about 22.
Cannot afford a big play here for Tri-State's defense. And a bad snap again, Joe.
And that came at a very bad time for the knockout. They're going to have to punt here, Nick.
They have no choice. And they're going to call a timeout to now discuss it over.
New York.
Now, I may have to take that back because I wouldn't say they have to punt here.
I think you could go for it in this sense, maybe get a couple extra yards, because you think about this also. It's even if you want to convert the 4th down, you could get a couple extra yards to back them into their own territory. So this could be a scenario where you try to not make your opponent get the 1st down, but at least get a couple of yards to where Tri-State will have to start from maybe the 20-yard line or something like that.
Well, the winner of the 50-50 raffle here at Memorial Stadium was just announced, the lucky winner. And if the knockout...
It was my ticket, Joe.
If the knockout are going to convert here, they're going to need more than luck. They're going to need some help from Tri-State because it would take quite the breakdown to surrender a 1st down in this spot. But then, of course, something that we've seen all game, the potential for penalties.
Right.
And penalties have had a huge impact on this one. That personal foul could have been a big penalty that alters this game completely. As Mesmer looks to throw down the middle of the field, and that is just out of the reach of Salisbury.
Now, from where the ball was for Salisbury, she would have caught it at around the 15-yard line, still short of the 1st down. But that's big for Tri-State to force that incompletion because it gives them better field positioning now on this drive. And now, with a touchdown on this drive, Joe, they can take the lead. So this is a huge drive coming up for Tri-State.
If you're a fan of the Warriors and one of the coaches or players on the Tri-State sideline, you can't ask for much more in this spot. A chance here in the 4th quarter to put together a game-winning drive. There you get a look at Rich Harrigan and his team discussing things along the Tri-State sideline as he sends his offense out onto the field. And for the first time this season, the Warriors will drive late in the game, or I shouldn't say for the first time this season, for the second time this season is what I meant to say. We get a chance to see this Warriors offense driving with a chance to tie a game or potentially take the lead.
63 yards away for the Warriors to try to take the lead with a touchdown here.
Any score would give Tri-State the lead. They pitch it, and we'll try a double pass. That doesn't work, but the ball carrier has room, and blocking in front of her, big run on the play for Nicole Muccio, who reversed field on an attempted double pass and picks up a first down. That's a big gain of about 13.
Joe, what did I say earlier? Sometimes those broken plays that don't work in your favor are the ones that get you a big-time yards. Great job overall from Tri-State as well as their offensive line, which has had their problems in this game today. They got some big-time blocks on that play, and now they're just a yard shy of midfield. Big first down for Tri-State.
That play started with a huge broken tackle by Muccio. It looked like she had a lot of blocking in front of her. She outran the blocking up the sideline and was finally taken down just short of midfield. But what a start to this drive for the Warriors on offense. And again, we do not have an official time for you, but we are in the fourth quarter. We are in a 5-point game where a touchdown would give Tri-State the lead. And given how much time has likely gone by in this quarter, you have to think, Nick, a touchdown probably wins it.
This could be the final drive of the game. There is a flag on the field. And it's again against the Warriors, Joe.
Has to be a delay of game, Nick, and I'm not sure how that happens coming off a play like what we just saw.
Can't afford those penalties, especially this late in the game as well.
Most of the offense was gathered around the line of scrimmage. Williams will look to throw here under pressure and sacked. Big loss on that play as Williams is taken down about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That will set up a second down and about 21.
Williams trying to step up in the pocket on that one. Just had no breathing room right there. Brought down at the 38-yard line. And again, it might take another third and long for the Warriors here. They'll have second and long right now.
Well, Nick, we've seen all game. Tri-State in these situations has found a way to make it fourth and manageable. They have a lot of work to do here once again with this game on the line. Williams wants to throw again. And she throws into double coverage and is intercepted. Salisbury looking to take it back for 6, and she beats Williams up the sideline for a knockout touchdown. Pick 6, Catherine Salisbury, and that may put this game away.
Salisbury has been all over the field today on both sides for this knockout team. Huge pick 6 forced by her to extend the knockout lead. An unfortunate break right there for Tri-State. Just when it looked like they were getting back into this game, a costly penalty to start off. Then you had the sack, and then a pick 6, and it's now a double-digit lead for the knockout.
Well, you could see on that play, Britt threw her hand up calling for the football, and it took Williams a few extra seconds to get the ball out, and by the time she delivered, it was too late. And Salisbury was all over it. Salisbury had an interception negated by pass interference earlier in the game. That one will stand. It will go for 6 points. And the extra point is blocked. The Warriors hoping for a chance to run this back, but they will not get one, as it will remain an 11-point lead for the knockout. And I don't think there's enough time left for Tri-State to drive it down the field twice. Again, we don't have an official time for you up here in the booth, time being kept down on the field, but we thought that this game was winding close to a close when the Warriors had the football, and now the sense of urgency is dialed all the way up to a 10.
Well, I think depending on how much time is left in for the Warriors, they would have to score very quickly and then get an onside recovery to have any chance, but I'm not sure how much time is left overall, but that We talked about that previous drive. We thought that could be the drive that decides the game. Evidently, it looks like that is what has happened. Now we'll have to see what the Warriors can do here with, it seems like, not much time remaining in this game.
Well, the two defenses in this game have both played pretty well. Obviously, those last 6 points coming by way of the New York defense. Early in this game, New York recovered a fumble, but that was a self-inflicted wound by Tri-State. Both offenses have had a tough time sustaining drives. We've seen a much better job of doing that by both teams in the second half, but ultimately, the defense has won many of those battles. As that kickoff is traveling toward the sideline, it goes straight out of bounds. And that was by design, it appears. This one spotted at the Tri-State 41-yard line. So, Nick, during the pregame, we spoke about it. The Warriors are capable of dialing up the big play on offense. One-play drives are something that they certainly have in their arsenal. They need one, or at least something close to it right here.
It has to be very quick in order to give them a chance. Now, keep in mind, if they get a couple of first downs, it will stop the clock for a brief moment. They've got to be quick on this drive nonetheless. If they're able to get some first downs here and there, they've got to be right there at the ball as soon as it's placed down by the official. So it's going to be very quick offense here for Tri-State if they're going to have any hope.
Warriors offense will take over at the 46. It looked like the initial spot was going to be at the 41. They move that ball up a bit, and that certainly helps Tri-State out. Tight shotgun set. Williams throws to her right, and Britt drops the ball. Now, that almost looked intentional.
Britt probably would not have gotten far considering the amount of white jerseys that were around her on that play. So it remains second down, still 10 yards to go for the Warriors.
It almost looked like she had it and then swatted the ball down toward the turf, knowing that defenders were all around her.
Sometimes you hear those footsteps and it happens.
Well, I think it ultimately worked out for the best. Second down and 10. As dusk begins to settle over Memorial Stadium in New Brunswick. Final minutes of this WFA matchup. Williams rolling to her right. Look to avoid a tackle. She does. Gets the ball away, and that is caught over the middle. That throw into a tight window, caught by Cav Johnson, and that sets up a third down and about 4.
And if you're Tri-State, you got to be quick here with some of your play calls. Just need to get a quick response from your coach and get the play over with if you're going to have any chance. The clock is still running, so they need to figure out a play here in order to have any hope.
Well, Sine Williams has shown great escapability throughout this game. Has been able to avoid sacks, has gotten it done on the ground. The Warriors have been pretty good on their third downs, not necessarily converting, but setting up fourth down in manageable situations. They'll look to do that again here. Williams rolls right, throws, that's caught, and that will be about 2 or 3 yards short of a first down on the catch by Britt.
They get about 1 yard on the play.
To Britt. 1 yard gain on the play.
Fourth down coming up as Williams gets the play call from her sideline.
And no matter how much time is left in this game, Joe, this is essentially the game right here for both sides.
No question. The Warriors have to convert here to stay alive. The knockout looking to remain unbeaten and move to 5-0. 3 receivers to the left of Williams, 1 back in the backfield. Williams will look to throw over the middle. And that pass is caught. Muccio on the reception. And that is a Tri-State Warriors first down to the New York 30.
Clock will stop for now as they move the chains, but good job by Tri-State to keep the drive going and keep this game alive. They've got to be quick now more than ever, being down 2 possessions.
Well, I'll say this, Nick. If we are indeed in the closing minutes of this game, as in sub 5 minutes,
they're taking a while.
They are taking their time. So they certainly know the time down on the sideline. We do not. But we have to be nearing the end of the fourth quarter. We have to be, don't we?
Seems like it.
Sure does. 1st and 10. Tri-State has it at the knockout 30-yard line. Bunch pistol formation here, one back in the backfield. Williams will pitch it back. And Wise will get the carry. That's a short gain of about 1 or 2.
I'll say this, Joe, the way that play started, it did not look like the Warriors were going to get any yards on that play. So to get 2 is very, very grateful if you're a Tri-State fan.
Well, they're running the clock, so we are not inside the 2-minute warning yet. 2nd down and 9 officially, so that goes down as a gain of 1. And the way that formation was set up, I think you definitely had a chance to turn that into a big play in that spot. The blocking was there, given the formation setup. 3 receivers bunched to the right, but you said it. When they pitched that ball back, it did not look like they were going to get anything. And Wise, with great speed, was able to turn it into a 1-yard gain up the sideline before ducking out of bounds. I formation here. And the handoff was faked to the fullback. I fell for the fake.
I did too.
But Wise lost her footing after receiving the pitch from Williams. And Nick, we'll get a look at that on replay. I think that had big play potential. Let's see.
Let's see what we got.
3rd and 14 for the Warriors.
So a fake inside handoff. They
stayed home.
They go with the pitch to the outside. You're right. It definitely could have had a potential for a big play. Now that loss, once again, will make it a 3rd and long for this Tri-State offense.
Based on that replay, it looks like I was wrong. New York stayed home on that play. 3rd down and long. Williams looks to the right. Britt is open, and she makes the catch just outside of the 10-yard line. 1st down, Warriors once again, as Sine Williams delivers another huge 3rd down completion.
Britt once again finding some separation between her and the defender up the middle of the field. Gets a big 1st down. And again, Joe, on 3rd and long, once again, Tri-State able to get a big play. And now they're in the red zone.
Another 1st down for the Warriors. Williams looks to run. Not much room, but she may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, perhaps a yard short of it. And that will go down as a loss of a yard.
So a loss of 1 there, making it about 2nd and 11 coming up for the Warriors. Trying to make this once again a 1-possession game.
Big play coming up here for Tri-State. And really every play from this point forward is a big play, but you can't imagine there is much more than 3 or 4 minutes left in this game. The Warriors have just 1 timeout remaining by our tally, so that's something to keep in mind as well. They might need an onside kick. High snap brought in by Williams. She moves to her left, looks toward the end zone. Williams floats one toward Johnson, who stumbles, and that pass is incomplete.
Out of the reach of Johnson right there from Williams. And after the short loss on 1st down, incompletion there. 3rd and about 11 coming up for the Warriors.
Well, it looked like Johnson may have had a step, but she loses her balance right there, as you saw on the replay, and that cost her any chance of catching that football. Nick, it's 3rd and long again.
It is.
This down and distance has been money all day for Tri-State.
Can they keep it going here to extend the drive?
Williams takes the snap out of the shotgun, looks left, is forced out to her right. Receiver open in the end zone, but Williams could not get the ball out. That was Wise wide open in the corner of the end zone after changing direction. And we do have a knockout player down along the near side. Looks like that's number 67, Cassandra Manny, who's down on the turf. And while they attend to her, we will step aside for a brief word from our sponsors. We are late in the fourth quarter of this WFA matchup. Tri-State trailing in the final minutes.
I was all for it from the beginning, secretly.
I told her that, if you join, you're in it. She's fast for her.
Fourth down, about 11 to go for Tri-State. We are under a minute to play in the fourth quarter, and that is just not the way the Warriors wanted this game to end, as a low snap results in a broken play. No chance for Williams, who was sacked. And that will do it, as we'll see if the knockout elect to kneel out the final seconds of this game, as they will improve to 5-0.
Tough break for Tri-State right there. Had a chance to win this game. Made it a 13-8 game at one point. But some costly plays from the offense. The interception that went back for the touchdown. Got into enemy territory here, into the red zone. But unfortunately, they turn it over on downs. And they're going to lose this one 19-8.
It seemed like the Warriors really hit their stride offensively in the second half. And you could say the same for New York. They had a couple of good possessions in the second half. Or I should say one good possession. If I'm not mistaken, they only had the ball once.
So we had the rushing touchdown. They've had 2 or 3, I think.
They've had 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Feels like they've had the ball just once.
That first drive for Tri-State was very
The drive
long.
with the penalty, they didn't
Yes.
score. So they might have had the ball twice. And New York will indeed kneel it out, as that will wrap up this Week 7 WFA matchup. But while we have a moment, and it may be more than a few moments here, would like to take a look at what broadcasts we have coming up here on the PDF Sports Network. So I'll step to my left and try and load that in for you as we take a look ahead to what's coming up throughout the rest of June. Now, if Tri-State does qualify for the playoffs, we do intend to cover it should those games be played within the region. Remains to be seen whether or not the Warriors will qualify for the playoffs, and if they do, we still don't know where those games will be played. But we'll get a look at the upcoming schedule here on PDF in just a few moments. Now, this schedule reflects a game that we were scheduled to cover. Well, actually, it does not. I did eliminate it. Good job by me. The game that we were scheduled to cover today has been removed from the upcoming schedule. So a nice job by our graphics guy. Our next game here on PDF will be 1 week from today, as the Jersey Bearcats will take on the Eastern Shore Rage. That game will be played on Saturday, June 10th. And then, as you see, playoff football for the Bearcats and or the Warriors will take place beyond next weekend, June 10th, obviously. Then in the AAL2, they will have a bye week the weekend of June 17th. So should we cover AAL2 playoffs, you can expect those playoffs to begin on or around June 24th. As for their championship game, that will take place in July. We do hope to cover that as well moving forward here on the PDF Sports Network. But until then, this has been Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast, Nick Bavona, Andrew Rotundo, our engineer, Louis Matrone, our camera operator, and Dave Pizzuto, the operator of our hero camera tonight. Our final score, the New York Knockout 18, the Tri-State Warriors 8. The Knockout remain unbeaten on the season. They are now 5-0. Tri-State falls to 1-4 on the season. If this is our last Warriors broadcast of the season, we thank all the Tri-State fans who have tuned in all season long and provided us with plenty of positive feedback for our broadcast throughout the WFA season. We hope to see all of you again next year. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you for coming.